Raised in the heart of this community, passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And happy Tuesday, everybody out there in America's finest city. Braden Surprenant Show just getting off and running. He's Frank Marchese. We are going to take you up to 2 o'clock, and Gwen and Chris as we get you ready for Padres baseball. The Padres try to take the series today against the San Francisco Giants. Big win last night. Good win last night. Even better that the Los Angeles Dodgers can, for some reason, can't beat the other team in L.A. Are they losing the fight for L.A., Frank? The real fight for L.A.,
yeah.
Angels and Dodgers?
They're losing the fight for Anaheim for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Angels cannot. The Dodgers cannot get past the Angels for some reason. They see Mike Trout and they crumble. They see the rally monkey and they just go, we can't. This is too much for us. We cannot handle the Los Angeles Angels. It's honestly amazing. And even better yet, way to rep the Angels Trash Pandas today. You know what? Good play on your part.
That was honestly
totally on purpose.
Yeah.
Nobody else needs to know.
Yep. I did that for a reason.
That's the only piece of gear that Frank has that's related to the Angels. So he wore it today. Of course. That's the only reason.
If I was thinking more, I could have worn red and would have been a little bit more obvious about it, but decided to do the subtle thing.
Subtle. I like it. Subtle. Anyway, Padres beat the Giants last night 4-1. I was telling Frank, and this is just as I was watching. Mondays are tough. Like, I go back, rewatch the games when I get home. But on Mondays, I play softball, right? So, like, I'm playing softball. Padres are up 1-0 after the double. And then as I come to bat at the Poway Sportsplex, the league director's little office is right in front, or right behind the field we were playing on, and he's got the game on, Ryan does, on one of his computer screens. And I look up, and I see a ball fly over a fence. And I'm like, oh, that could be positive. And then there's flashing lights and a white jersey running around, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. Okay.
Less positive.
How many runs was that? Oh, only a solo shot. Okay, not the worst. And so it's 1-1. Continue to play the game. I decide to sit out an inning defensively. We got a lot of young guys on the team. I don't need to play. I got other games I got to play. I'm going to go get a Powerade up at the little snack bar thing. I walk up there, and I see the score is 4-1. But for some reason, I don't know why I processed it like this. I thought for some reason the Giants were up 4-1. To the realization that I had when I got back down to the dugout, upset, thinking the Padres were down 4-1, because for some reason I confused the SD and the SF logo and the home and away. I don't know what I was thinking. I obviously was not. And I'm like, well, and I looked at the Angels score. The Angels are up like 7-0 on the Dodgers. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Another opportunity to potentially gain a game, and the Padres are not holding up their end of the bargain. And then one of my friends on the team goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, we're down 4-1. He's like, no, we're not. The Padres are up 4-1. I looked down at my phone. I'm like, oh, dope. You should have seen my reaction at that point. Then I'm like, oh, wow, the Angels are up 7-0. Padres are up 4-1. Let's finish this thing off. Let's be game back. And when you talk about this particular week, again, you're just trying to keep pace with LA in their series against the Angels. If you could do that, and you could go into the series against LA 2 games back, you have a really good chance of passing them again by taking 2 out of 3 this weekend in Los Angeles and taking 2 out of 3 at home against the Dodgers. That's the ideal situation. That is, to me, the most logical reality situation in terms of trying to catch LA. Understanding that you can't expect teams to sweep And you can't expect teams to get swept. I mean, you're playing too many games. So if the Padres can even do one better, and if the Angels can help out again tonight, and you go into LA and you're tied, or you go into LA just one game back, that puts even added pressure on Los Angeles. I've said this multiple times so far this year. You want to continue to add pressure. That is your time to really flip it on LA. For all of the years that LA has won the division, which is a lot. What is it? 10 out of the last 11 years? I think it's 10 out of the last 11 years. If not, it's more. I mean, that's how good they've been in the National League West. If you look at all of those years, they're not even really contested at all. They're not even contested at all throughout the season. The only time that they were was when the Giants continued to add pressure and the Dodgers folded down the stretch. Now, the Dodgers did get the Giants in that postseason. You got to give them credit for that. Okay? But at the same time, the more you add pressure on teams to go out there and win, the harder it is for them to win, especially in a sport like baseball. Now you're playing with fire, or not really fire. You're playing with house money for the Padres because you are the underdog. You weren't expected to go out there and win the division at the beginning of the year. They're the team that's got the target on their back. They're the team that's going to feel the most pressure. They're under the most pressure to win the division because they have the, quote, best team money can buy every single year. And you added more pressure by getting the victory over San Francisco. And by the way, it wasn't a one-run game. That was the best part. That was the best part. You didn't have to sweat one out in San Francisco. Got to go out there and just put up some runs. And talk about some of the individual performances. It is great to see a guy like Yu Darvish go out there and shove for most of the game. He had the one mistake pitch to Rafael Devers. But Yu Darvish is starting to look back to what Yu Darvish was like. This has been a couple of starts now that Yu Darvish has looked pretty good. And how about Freddy Fermin? How about Freddy Fermin? I mean, this is a guy that nobody here ever even heard of. The only one that was knew about Freddy Fermin was Kathy in Los Angeles because she's also a Royals fan. This was the deal at the deadline where everybody's freaking out. We gave up too much. We gave up 2 starting pitchers for this guy. I can't believe we did this. He's not even really the starter in Kansas City. It's Salvador Perez. What are the Padres doing? Well, what are they doing? Well, they're getting themselves a highly productive catcher that's great behind the plate, that's a glue guy, and honestly, at this point in time, he might be the best pickup at the deadline so far. Now, it's an early sample size. It's very small. He's off to a hot start. I mean, you have to account for all of those things. But a couple of things Freddy Fermin did last night. One, he had a home run. That's great. Offensively, he's been great. Freddy Fermin, another 1-for-4 night with a run scored, 2 RBIs. He's hitting almost 270. He's at 269 on the year. I mean, think about that. You took your catching position, and at catcher, you went from a guy basically both of them. You went from 2 catchers that could barely hit 200 to a catcher that's hitting 269. And a catcher that can throw runners out. Now, he did throw that ball in the center field, but then Jackson Merrill was able to get him at third base with the Manny Machado face tag in the face. In the face. That was rough. That was hilarious if you're a Padres fan. Giants guy trying to take third base after stealing second. Ball goes into center field. Manny just right in the face. Hilarious. Anyway, you improved your catcher from a 200 average at best to a 269 batting average. He contributed at the plate yet again, as mentioned before, flipping the lineup as the number 9 spot, going to the number 1. You love to see it. But you know what he did that was even more impressive? Was catch Yu Darvish last night. Let's think about that for a second. Remember when the Padres acquired Yu Darvish? Let's go back down the memory bank. The member berries like from South Park. You remember. let's remember who came along with you, Darvish, in the Darvish trade. Anybody? Frank? Bueller? You don't remember? Victor Caratini. Why did Victor Caratini come with you, Darvish? Well, you Darvish is so complicated and so hard to catch. He's got all these pitches. He needs his personal catcher, so we acquired his personal catcher. Victor Caratini became a Padre. Then they trade away Victor Caratini. It's like, all right, well, we got to find you Darvish a catcher. And you Darvish usually has like one catcher that he works with because he's so complicated, because his fastball is like 8 different pitches. And each one of his pitch has another 8 different variations of it. And he's very difficult to catch. And Freddy Fermin, last night in the game, as he's warming him up, was the first time Freddy Fermin had ever caught you Darvish. He didn't catch him in his bullpens. He's never caught him ever before in spring training, obviously. He has never caught you Darvish. Ever. And what does Yu Darvish do last night? Goes 6 innings, allows 1 earned run on 4 hits, 6 punch outs. He had the 1 mistake pitch against Devers. I'm telling you right now, as great as Darvish was last night, you have to give credit to Freddy Fermin. Yu Darvish even said it last night in the postgame. He did really great last night. He gave him the flowers. I mean, that's even better information. You acquired a catcher that is Schilt approved for defensive and handling pitching staffs. You got a catcher that is fan approved, not 97 through the fan approved, although we do approve this guy, but Padres fan approved in terms of offensive production. And you have this guy for another 4 years. This is great. This is great. He might be, and we're going to go into deeper detail of Freddy Fermin. He might be the best pickup AJ Preller had the entire deadline. The entire deadline. He's been great. And again, I know it's a small sample size. Everything is small. It's whatever. He has been great. What a pickup. I mean, the pickups the Padres have had, the team's starting to gel together a little bit. You see, and look about like the other one too. Like, I want to talk about Gavin Sheets. And I just saw Maria in the chat wanted to mention. I mean, Gavin Sheets has not played in I don't know how many games. He's been on the bench. He's been a big contributor at the beginning of the year. He's been replaced by Ryan O'Hearn, who went 0 for 3 last night with 2 strikeouts. But, Ryan O'Hearn's a good player. He's hit 273, 821 OPS. He was an American League All-Star this year. But Gavin Sheets has done a great job being in that role position that he's currently in. He got the start last night. What did he do? He went 2 for 3. He got a double, his 16th of the year. That's great to see. I mean, for guys that have been starting all the time, now back to the bench to try to be that guy off the bench, to be the spot start player, that's hard to do. That's very hard to do. Gavin Sheets has done a great job doing that. The Padres are 1 game out of first place. We still got about, I think, 40-something games left. We'll talk about the Crucial 42, what the update is on the Crucial 42. We'll talk more about Freddy Fermin being the final piece the Padres have needed. We'll look at what the games happened yesterday, the games that matter, and we'll get your phone calls. We're fired up on a Tuesday. Just getting started. Braden Surprenant Show, standing as #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to be giving away a bobblehead. A crown fit for a king of the hill. This Michael King bobblehead presented by Cox features this Padres ace taking his throne on the mound, donning a gold cape and crown on Wednesday, August 20th. This is a giveaway that is limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. First pitch is set for 6:40. Gates are open to the public 90 minutes prior. Arrive early. For more information, visit padres.com/giveaways. We will be giving away the giveaway. We will not be giving away tickets. No tickets. No tickets. We are giving away the bobblehead, though. We do have a bobblehead giveaway. So we will be giving away the bobblehead in the 1 o'clock hour. We will have a trivia question for that. And if you're the first one to call in the 1 o'clock hour and answer said trivia question correctly, you will win Michael King bobblehead. Michael Head Bobble King. Yes. You can win that if you stay tuned to 1 o'clock. I love this time of year. It's Padres baseball, obviously, near the top. And we're going to get to the crucial 42. We're going to get to the, where everything stands in the playoff status, percentage-wise, everything like that. We got football on television in here. They're replaying college games. I love college football so much. I'm dialed into this LSU South Carolina game right now. I already know what happens in this game. In fact, I told Frank, I said, I think South Carolina screws this up. And they did. They screwed it up, and LSU ended up winning on the road at South Carolina. It's probably one of those, top 25 games of whatever, 2024. But it's just getting me fired up. A little day game college football on a Saturday. You kidding me? You kidding me? And we're going to have a ranked matchup, Farmageddon in Ireland. Week 0. Coming up soon. Can't wait for college football. It's even better when you got Padres baseball in full force. I mean, this is a great couple of months coming up here. August, September, expand. Great. It's phenomenal. I don't know what was going on. I didn't watch I had to watch it later as I had softball. Did you watch the game last night, Frank?
I did not, no.
So did you not see the
No,
screaming
I heard
lady
about it.
behind the I got so many texts about that. What? So was it a Padres fan that was just yelling the entire time?
Yeah, it was a Padre fan. She's usually always there. Now the field mics at Oracle Park are just
Hold on. Pause. She's usually always at Oracle?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a Padres fan that lives in San Francisco.
Most likely.
And she's usually sitting right behind home plate?
Yes.
And she was screaming.
We all know that the field mics at Oracle Park pick up everything.
The field mics at Oracle Park are like the radar guns at Dodger Stadium.
Only when
enhanced.
Otani pitches. Yeah.
Super enhanced.
But yeah, she was just going. She was fanning her way, and it was a loud way, to the point where even there's a video going around that an usher actually had to tell her,
Hey.
we're not telling you not to fan, but
We're
just
telling you to chill.
Yeah, just a little bit quieter.
Chill.
That's it.
Gotta chill. That's like in Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yolanda. Be cool, Yolanda. Be cool, baby. That's what they needed to tell her.
But
you gotta be cool.
But seriously though, when we would come in here, especially for weekend games in San Francisco, we had to be here an hour before pregame starts.
You could already.
So we would hear conversations word for word as if they were happening in this studio, picked up by the Oracle Park field mics.
You know what? I blame Dave Marcus on the radio. You can turn it down, dude. They can turn it down.
David's
got control,
down, but he doesn't have control of the field mic.
He does into the broadcast.
I know he does.
Can control that.
Right. That is correct. However, that is an Oracle Park overall issue. Stop putting the field mic between two seats with the loudest fans in the building, please.
Tony in the chat. She should be celebrated. Could you imagine if she was like a Dodgers fan? Oh my God, the chat would just be all over her. It's a little bit too much. You know what? At least she's a Padres fan. It could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
I just told it to chill. You just got to chill a little bit. But now she's one of the most famous Padres fans, apparently.
Yeah, certainly.
If we have a barbershop quartet sing before a playoff game, I swear to God.
Hey, listen, that was the best anthem I've heard.
Stop it.
That was fantastic.
Stop it.
Stop. No, you
I will
stop
physically
it.
drive down the KUSI and prevent that from happening for the
No.
betterment of the Padres and winning playoff series.
The Barbershop Quartet was fine. Not those four guys singing that particular song. There's no shot there. But just a barbershop quartet singing the anthem, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
The Padres anthem?
No, not the Padres.
That's
no.
what I'm talking about.
Oh,
that's what
anthem.
I'm talking about.
I'm
not
okay.
talking about the national anthem.
Oh, okay.
Barbershop quartets are great.
No, yeah, barbershop quartets are fine.
The Dapper Dan's doing the national anthem if you want to. Send her to Chavez Ravine this weekend. Anyway, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Mike in Temecula. Mike, you're on the Braden Surprenant show. What's going on, man?
Can you guys hear me okay?
I got you. What's up, dude?
Okay, I got you. You faded out on me. Hey, actually, that real quick on that girl, I actually thought it was like a 13-year-old, this kid, just like totally diehard Padre fan. And so I didn't realize it was a girl, but yeah, kudos for her. I hope she gets a little 15 minutes of fame. But I really want to talk about is what you brought up is the Ferminator. We have him for 4 years. And I believe we have Miller for 4 years.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay, so you think about, I'm looking at myself saying, what happened with AJ for the first 9 years when he made all these deals and this and that, and all of a sudden the last 2 years, he's like a god. Like it's incredible. I don't think he's getting enough kudos for, these are multi-year players. Now, I don't think O'Hearn and Ramon, are they one-year wonders?
Ramon Laureano has a club option for $6.5 million. So if the Padres want to bring him back, it will cost them $6.5 million. They'll just say they want it, and he's on the team. O'Hearn is, in fact, a rental.
Okay. So my question to you is Nick O'Hearn or Sheets for a future contract?
Well, look, that's an interesting question, Mike. I appreciate the phone call. I'm pretty sure the Padres have, like, control of Sheets for a while, too, because they brought him in on a minor league
believe
deal.
I'll take a look. I believe they do have control on him.
Gavin Sheets is under control until 2028.
I'll stop looking now.
I'm quick, dude. Fangraphs, Padres payroll. It's already saved on my computer. Just bang on it. On it. Got to be quicker than that, Frank. Yeah, Gavin Sheets is getting $1.6 million. He's arbitration eligible for the next 2 years. He's a free agent in 2028. That might actually make it an easier play for them, for the Padres. If they just keep Gavin Sheets. Ryan O'Hearn's going to get a lot more money than that, probably in the free agent market. If I'm looking at, like, if they were the same value, I'd probably take Ryan O'Hearn for his track record. But Ryan O'Hearn's 32. Gavin Sheets is a little bit younger at 29. I think the Padres having Gavin Sheets under contract for as long as they do is probably fine. Now, I don't know. Here's where Frank can help me out. It says it's a split contract. I don't know what that means.
For who?
For Gavin Sheets. Is it because they signed him on a minor league deal and then they had to add him to the roster for the major league? It's listed as a split contract.
I believe.
I don't know the details on that. That's the first.
I don't either. My guess would be is because he was a non-roster invitee. That has something to do with the Yeah, it's signed a 1 year, $1.6 million minor league contract with the Padres. Contract was purchased on March 20th. So yeah, I have a feeling it's because he was a non-roster invitee.
Okay, split contract. Nobody else has that listed on their deal. But anyway, he's under contract until 2028. So I think that makes it a little bit easier. And so I would just pick that. But you never know. Like, what's going to be an interesting question by Charles Booth in the chat. Who's getting less money? Ryan O'Hearn, Luis Arraez. Now you have two of the same player in Ryan O'Hearn and Gavin Sheets, more of a power guys. And then if Luis Arraez is $15 million and Ryan O'Hearn's cheaper than that, maybe they go that route instead. Very interesting to see how that plays out.
But there are a couple of things you do have to remember is that Dylan Cease's nearly $14 million is coming off the books at the end of this year. You have Eric Hosmer coming off the books at the end of this year. Maldonado and Hayward are going to be done. That's $2 million more freed up. So the Padres are going to have money this offseason.
They will. And then Machado gets a raise. And actually, he's the only one getting a raise. Darvish is getting a pay cut next year.
Yeah, so that might cancel out it.
He drops
Manny's raise.
$5 million. Manny goes up $8 million.
Oh, so it's only a $3 million difference.
Correct. Nick Pivetta gets a raise.
That's going to eat up a lot of that difference.
Yeah, he makes a massive raise. Suarez is going to be off the books. You don't have to worry about him anymore.
Yeah, that's another one.
Michael King, if you want him back, we'll take him in. You'll use that money for him. You still got to pay Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta until 2028. But, you know. Yes, Tatis does not get a raise yet. He doesn't get a raise until 2027 when he makes $25 million. His big bump, though, is in 2029 where he jumps up to $36 million. Manny Machado's big bump is in 2027. He goes from $25 million to $39 million a year. So that's his big raise. And they're done paying Hosmer. Hosmer's off the books at the conclusion of this season.
Hearing that just makes me realize we picked the wrong end of this sports business to go into.
Yeah, he's got his $12 million off the books. Don't have to pay the $2 million for Ha-Seong Kim off the books. $236 million for Connor Joe off the books. Next year, potential buyout for Michael King, $3.75 million. Buyout for Elias Diaz is $2 million. Oh, that's rough. And a buyout for Kyle Hart is $500,000. And if they wanted to buy Tyler Wade out, it's $50,000. There you go. But no more Hosmer contract, which is great. Mike, we appreciate the phone call, man. Thanks again. Padres with a big win last night. As mentioned before, we have a little bit of time here. We got like a minute. Padres in the crucial 42 are now 12-5. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a lot better than I thought they were going to be. It's a lot better than I thought they were going to be, especially with going into this group of games. It was expected to be the hardest stretch of the schedule. After the trade deadline, a couple of teams sold off. It's not as difficult of a schedule, but playing the division for the next 13 games, next 12 games, is going to be very fun and interesting to watch. Hopefully the Padres just beat up on the Giants. That would be nice. But usually you have to earn it if you're the San Diego Padres. We'll talk about the playoff status in just a little bit. We will also dive more into Freddy Fermin and the pickup that he has been for the Padres. Is he the final piece the Padres needed? Is this the glue guy? Is this the one that was just the overall, the icing, the cherry on top at the deadline? We'll talk about that when we come back and look at some of the games that mattered last night around Major League Baseball. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, standing as on Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Be sure to stay tuned in the 1 o'clock hour. We got a Michael King bobblehead giveaway. Crown fit for a king of the hill. This Michael King bobblehead presented by Cox features this Padres ace taking his throne on the mound, donning a gold cape and crown on Wednesday, August 20th. This giveaway is limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. First pitch set for 6:40 p.m. Pacific time. Gates are open to the public 90 minutes prior. Arrive early. For more information, visit Padres.com/giveaways. Giveaway is for the Michael King bobblehead. We are not, and I repeat, we are not giving away tickets. We are just giving away the bobblehead. Coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. This hour on 97 through the Fan, though, is brought to you by U.S. Wellness Meats. Overwhelmed by processed foods, U.S. Wellness Meats offers an all-natural alternative, 100% grass-fed beef, pork, poultry, wild-caught seafood, and more. Ship free from family farms. Get 20% off your first order at uswellnessmeats.com. We're going to talk about Freddy Fermin here in a second. We're going to give you the numbers of where the Padres are at percentage-wise, of making the playoffs, of all that other stuff, okay? But I do want to mention our friend on Twitter, Too Much Mortons, Giannis, Auntie Got a Poodle, did some research, put it out there, and I was actually going to look this up myself because it seems like his last couple of starts have been really good. And I think Freddy Fermin has helped a little bit with this as well. First 4 games for you, Darvish, in 2025. A 9.18 ERA, a 5.33 fielding independent pitching, a 13.8 strikeout percentage, 11.3 walk percentage, and a 9.8% of strikes that were swung at and missed. Not necessarily the greatest numbers for a pitcher.
And then who'd they play?
And then they played the Mets.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody gets you right like the New York Mets, huh? Mets are going to Met? It's been rough since they came to San Diego. They lost 7 straight. Hey, you know what? You know what the good news was last night, Frank? The Mets didn't play. They couldn't lose.
You sure about that?
They lose to the bye last night?
Yes, I did.
8-game losing streak.
23-0 last I saw.
Is that what your boy Frank Fleming said? Your boy?
Do not ever, ever insult me like that, comparing me to that dope ever again.
Man. That's not what every Mets fan's like. That's not the the representative of the Mets fan base. All right, back to you. Not Frank, but Darvish. Last 3 games for you, Darvish. 2.12 ERA compared to the 9.18 ERA. A 2.87 fielding independent pitching compared to the 5.33 fielding independent pitching. 30% strikeout percentage compared to the 13.8% strikeout percentage. A 3.3 walk percentage compared to the 11.3 walk percentage. And he has boosted his 9.8 percentage of strikes that were swung at and missed up to a 12.9. Yu Darvish has been on the up and up and the turnaround. And if you get that level of production from Yu Darvish in the starting rotation, matched with how great Dylan Cease has been the last couple of starts, all of a sudden it's like you have improved your starting rotation overnight. We said this about Yu Darvish at the beginning of the year. People were bitching, moaning, and complaining that he wasn't playing. I can't believe we're wasting all this money on Yu Darvish and he's not even playing. I don't care what Yu Darvish does at the beginning of the season. I really don't. He's up there in age. He's 38 years old. He's on the team to do what he has done in the last 3 games in the final month of the season and in the postseason. That's really what it is. I mean, that's why he's on the team. You don't pay a 38-year-old pitcher to get you through, 30 starts. You get this type of player to pitch in October, to pitch in late September, to help you in a pennant race. And that's what Yu Darvish so far is doing in the last couple of games. And hopefully he could keep it up. It's only been 3 games, but it's been drastically different than his first 4 games as a starting pitcher for the San Diego Padres. Now, again, I think Freddy Fermin has helped out, but this is the only time. Last night was the first time that Freddy Fermin has ever, and I mean ever, caught Yu Darvish. He did a great job. Yu Darvish even said so yesterday in the postgame. Oh, he did a great job. Freddy Fermin's been a huge upgrade to the catching position. When the trade initially went down, I was like, okay, I guess you're giving up 2 starting pitchers for a slight upgrade. It's not a slight upgrade. This has been great. Kevin Acee lays it out in his daily newsletter. He talks more in detail about Freddy Fermin. But out of all of the moves that AJ Preller has made at the deadline, this year's deadline, out of all the moves that he made, this is the move that he gets the most compliments on. That was what was said in today's daily newsletter by Kevin Acee. Out of all the moves AJ Preller made in getting Laureano and O'Hearn, in making that big splash, that big blockbuster trade, if you want to call it that, for Mason Miller, all of the moves that were made, the move that he gets the most positive feedback on from people that have played with Freddy Fermin, with people that have coached Freddy Fermin, for people that have played and coached against them, this has been the best and the most talked about trade. Said by AJ Preller, as quoted in Kevin Acee's daily newsletter, quote, "We've never traded for a player that we've gotten more positive reports after the trade than Freddy Fermin. People were coming out of the woodwork talking about when they played with him, coached him, managed him. They call him a glue guy." And you know what? It has been working so far. It is a small sample size. This is not, obviously to be expected. You can't just start hanging banners now because you picked up a good catcher. But to be honest with you, this has to be, as at this point in time, the steal of the deadline. You gave up Kolek, you gave up Berger, two promising starting pitchers in Major League Baseball for this guy, but he's thriving both offensively and defensively. He is hitting in a Padres uniform. He is hitting .370. He has caught 7 of the 10 games since the trade deadline and is batting .370 with a double, a home run, and 5 RBIs. .370. He's 10 for 27 in a Padres uniform. Quickly earning praise from his teammates, quickly earning praise from his coaches for his leadership, his handling of the pitching staff. I mean, the whole thing, the whole love affair about Martin Maldonado, and the reason why they kept him on the team for so long was how he handled the pitching staff. They replaced that with a guy that could do the same thing and hit for a high average and drive in runs and flip the batting lineup up to the top to Fernando Tatis Jr. Again, it's only 27 at-bats, and he's 10 for 27. But he's off to a great start. And how many times have we seen Padres teams that make deals at the deadline where you have to wait a little bit for the offense to come around? They got to gel with the new team. It's a new environment. We saw that in 2022. Now, the first game in 2022 was great because Braden hit a grand slam, and everybody on base was like newly acquired Padres. Like, hey, look, we're never going to lose. But then there were some stretches where they didn't look good offensively together. But right now, Freddy Fermin is off to a great start. He's off to a great start. He has made probably the biggest impact, on this team so far. And him and Ramon Laureano, probably the biggest impact so far made. And that's not saying the other guys haven't made an impact yet. I mean, Ryan O'Hearn saved the day in Arizona. Mason Miller has been great in the bullpen. Nestor Cortez helped you in Arizona. He looked pretty good. I mean, the only one that had somewhat of a bad performance so far is J.P. Sears, and they're going to give him another opportunity later on. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to believe it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to warn you, J.P. Sears might be drastically different in Petco Park compared to the bandbox he had been pitching in Sacramento, and unfortunately, pitching in another place that's high altitude where the ball flies, Arizona. Freddy Fermin's been great. His biggest impact yet in the team's 4-1 win over the Giants was catching Darvish for the first time and also launching a 2-run home. Freddy Fermin's been ecstatic. A lot of people, there's a lot of people right now in the YouTube like, AJ Preller and AJ we trust. Love all the trades. That was not the case after the first one of the day at the trade deadline. You give up Leo for who? That's it? Gotta let him do it, man. Gotta let him do it. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's dive into some of the numbers. According to playoffstatus.com, again, here's the disclaimer that their number, it's kind of a guide more than anything else. Note that this definition is slightly different than the one traditionally used with Major League Baseball when it comes to magic number. A winning magic number is the number of games a team must win to guaranteed winning a given playoff spot. The Padres' magic number right now is at 36 to make the playoffs. Team with the smallest magic number, because again, we still got to get through all of September and most of August, is the Milwaukee Brewers at 29. And they currently have the best odds to get the number 1 seed in the National League. They've won 10 straight games, Milwaukee has. They've won 10 straight games. And are starting to separate themselves from the rest of the pack in the National League. I think they're going to come back down to earth, though. They might be hitting their stride a little bit too early, Milwaukee. And we've talked about Milwaukee before, and I'm going to ask Frank this, when it comes to Milwaukee, I talked about this on the roundtable. They're not, you just watch them for 3 straight days. They're not, to me, I don't know why, I don't know how they win. I mean, the Mets aren't playing good baseball right now, Frank, but at the same time, you watch Milwaukee, are you scared of Milwaukee?
Right now, I'm petrified of them. I'm seeing them in my nightmares right now. But Milwaukee... Oh, 1 second.
All right. Frank's
Milwaukee,
He's got an addiction to icebreakers. He's gonna like down the entire pack today.
These things have absolutely destroyed me all day long. I've been popping breath mints like they're candy.
That's a different story for a different day. I'm not afraid of Milwaukee. I don't know what it is. They got young, speedy guys that get on base. They got guys like Christian Yelich that knocks them in. They got, good pitching. They're a team that always is there at the end of the year, and I never know why. And they're always a team that disappoints in the playoffs.
They're
Pete Alonso. Hey, last year.
They are a complete, well-run team from top to bottom. They may not have the flashiest names, but they have players that complement each other very, very well and are there to pick up the pieces if somebody makes a misstep. Even the Sunday game against the Mets were up like 6-1. I mean, that game was over. And they came back and won it in, ironically, very similar fashion to how the Mets beat them in the playoffs last year. Milwaukee is a team that if you allow them to stick around, they are going to bite you. And they are going to bite you very, very hard. And the Padres are really good. That's going to be a concern for the Padres come September. That is one of our crucial 42 series. So they are a very well-run team from top to bottom, office, manager, players. They are very, very well put together, and a team that if you let them gel and if you let them get momentum, as the league has now, they're going to be a very big problem.
There's something to be said about them continually making the playoffs and continually having Minnesota Twins exits. They're not really like the Twins too much. I mean, the Twins have no chance every time they make the postseason.
Yeah,
but
the Twins always run into the Yankees every time they make the postseason.
The Brewers at least make it through a little bit. They're at the number one spot right now. All right, back to the Padres in terms of percentage chances of making the playoffs. For all you math people out there, they have a 96% chance of making the postseason after last night, a 9% chance to get the 6th seed. That's the smallest that number has been because all the other numbers are inflating. 30% chance for the 5 seed, a 16% chance for the 4 seeds. The first time they actually have higher percentage chances of getting the 2 or the 3 seed than some of the wild card seeds. Padres, as of right now, have a 19% chance of getting the 2 seed in the National League and a 17% chance of getting the 3 seed in the National League, with just a 5% chance of potentially getting the number 1 seed in the National League. The Brewers have a 71% chance of getting the 1 seed. I mean, the 10-game winning streak has really put them above and beyond everybody else in the National League. In terms of first-round opponent, your most likely opponent will be the Chicago Cubs, 36% chance. Again, no guarantee. Still a lot of games left. Next highest chance team is the Mets to play in the first round, which Frank does not want to see. 9% chance. And then against the Dodgers, there's an 8% chance of potentially playing them in the first round. And that's the opponent part of this. If you look at the remaining games, we look at this all the time. Padres have 43 games left. If the Padres win 51% of their games remaining, okay, 20, and it's just because it's an odd number, so they can't win 50%. It's either going to be 51 or 49% of the games, 22, 21 games. So if the Padres go 22 and 21 to finish the year, starting today, if they go 22 and 21 to finish the year, they will finish with 89 wins. They have a 99% chance of making the playoffs at that particular time. Okay? If they go 500. Now, if they go less than 500, they're going to obviously start to plummet on the leaderboard, and they're going to have a little bit more difficulty in terms of getting to the playoffs. But just for your peace of mind going into it, math, again, they have built up enough of a lead right now that, a lead on the Reds is, I think, 5.5 games, if I'm not mistaken. You have to view it in series. So in order for the Reds to pass you, they have to win 5 series, and you have to lose 5 series. And then makes you at even. I mean, we're running out of series left in the season. So out of the next 43 games, if the Padres win 22 of those games, they have which is 51% of the games, they'll get to 89 wins. They'll be a 99% chance of making the postseason. Prolific continues to say 96 wins. To win 96 games this year, the Padres have to win 29 of their next 43. And if the Padres do, in fact, win 96 games, they have a 54% chance of being the number 2 seed in the National League. So there's your math lesson for the day. If anybody wants to pay attention and listen to math, there you go. We do this in the first part of the segment, the hour, as we can. We have laid out the crucial 42 games. You're going to win 60. You're going to lose 60. It's what you do in those 42 that matter. And in the 42 games that we have calculated, the Padres are 12-5. They're off to a really good start in the postseason. In the crucial 42. You want to win 96 games, you got to win 36 of the 42. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll do some scoreboard watching and don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but the Padres are only a game out of first place. We'll talk about that when we start the 11 o'clock hour. Braden Surprenant Show. 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. We're getting closer to the football season, which is great. And we got old games on ESPNU right now in studio. And then, I don't know, NFL preseason football, I guess, which is not the worst. I mean, watching preseason football is not great. But, just having it on the background, it's okay. It's okay. School has started for most people in the county, I think. Almost. At Cathedral, they start on, I think, Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. That first day of practice when school is in sucks. Because they go from, the kids I coach go from playing football and like having the rest of the day off, or having the day off and relaxing and playing football, to full slate of school and then showing up for football practice.
Yep.
The first day stinks.
And not only that, but people getting lost around the campus, especially if they're new students and stuff like that. It's
plan
not
out your
great.
spots. I had to ask them the other day because they're like they have iPads now instead of books.
What?
I'm like, they had that my senior year. We only had iPads. We're an Apple distinguished school. So we get iPads, online textbooks.
Olympian, get on it.
It's part of tuition. They have to pay for it. And they have to get the iPad back.
Well, naturally,
done,
yeah, I would expect.
Or they can buy it for whatever. Anyway. I'm like, do they even have lockers up there anymore? They're like, yeah. Does anybody use them? No. I know the Scripps Ranch area has school back in town or in session because driving to work has gotten a little bit more difficult than it usually is. It's taken forever to get on Pomerado Road, Marshall Middle School, throwing off my commute. But with all of that, getting ready for the fall, it's August what?
August 12th.
It's August 12th. I don't think I've ever started school this early in my life. August 12th.
I know.
Well, the South Bay has been starting in like July.
It was the worst summer break of my life because I went to Ocean View Hills Elementary, which is K through 8.
Yeah.
They ended like July 12th, I think.
What?
Something like that.
That's insane.
Yeah, but we got like 2 weeks off for Christmas. We got like the whole week off for Easter.
You're year-round school.
Yeah, year-round.
That stinks.
And
get a ski week.
Yeah, and then San Ysidro started on July 28th. So I got a 2-week summer vacation from going from middle school to high school.
That's awful.
It was horrific.
That is awful. I think I only went to school after Labor Day like twice, and I think it was kindergarten and first grade. And then at that point, everything started moving up and up and up. I mean, being in and everything else keeps moving up too. I mean, we have a scrimmage on Thursday, as I mentioned before. It's August 11th or 12th. Our scrimmage is on August 14th. I mean, this should be like the second week of football. And usually you used to start like Labor Day week and then start playing game. We're playing a game next week. There's high school football games next Friday.
Attaboy.
And with that, means we got to start previewing some of the leagues slowly but surely. We're going to have 4 different previews throughout the next 2 weeks, highlighting North County, South Bay, East County, and the city. And we will do that later in the week. And it's going to be, they're not going to be like it's not going to be ridiculous. Okay. We're just going to let you know who's going on.
I was going to say, should I leave that segment to you? Just tell me to block out a set of time on the sheet because I know nothing about high school football.
I'll send you info.
I'll
you
learn
can
a
study
lot.
it up. Let's go.
Oh, no, I'll learn a lot, I'm sure, this year especially, but
We'll keep you updated on that. I'm sure the PPR's ready to go. We saw Allison Edmonds in the dugout.
Yes, we did. Yes.
She looked a little stressed about the beginning of the PPR season. KUSI's biggest season of the year. High school football and Padres doing well. Sports department spread thin over there.
Speaking of KUSI, for those of you who didn't see the news yesterday, San Diego State versus Stony Brook will be on KUSI in a couple weeks.
That's right. Steve Quiss on the call, I saw. Our friend Steve. We got to get Steve on.
We do.
Get Steve on the preview of the game. Yes, go Aztecs. We'll be doing some college football previews as well. Some NFL stuff also. All right. So we were talking about where everything's at when it comes to the playoffs. We said it again. If the Padres win 51% of the remaining 43 games, so 22, if they go 22-21 the rest of the way, they will have 89 wins and they have a 99% chance of making the postseason. Good to know. Good to know. That being said, here's what you're watching for this week. This is what happened last night. Philadelphia, unfortunately for Frank, has been on a little bit of a tear, and it's helped out the Padres. They beat the Reds last night 4-1. With the win over Cincinnati and the Padres winning last night, the Padres now in the wild card standings not only have the Mets separating them from the first team out, but the Padres now have a 5.5 game lead on Cincinnati due to the Reds losing last night to Philadelphia. Philadelphia helping out the Padres, not helping out Frank's Mets. Dodgers lost to the Angels last night, 7-4. With the Angels winning, the Padres now pull within 1 game of the National League West crown, at least the top mark for about a month and 3/4 left of the regular season. Again, 43 games to go. Other games last night for the San Diego, or that impacted the San Diego Padres. There wasn't too many games in general, but other games that you're paying attention to, of course, if you're a Padres fan in the National League, again, the Reds and Phillies is the big one, as well as the Dodgers and the Angels. Other ones to slightly pay attention to, that was basically it. I mean, you could maybe look at the Cardinals and the Rockies, not really. Brewers, you're looking at a pipe dream if you want to get the number 1 seed. But again, you have to pass LA before you worry about the Brewers, and they bludgeoned the Pirates last night 7-1. They've won 10 straight games. It's the second time this year they've gone on a 10-game winning streak. So that's all you need to know about Milwaukee. In terms of games today, Frank has laid it out nicely. Philadelphia plays Cincinnati again at 3:40 in the Queen City at the Great American Bandbox. Ranger Suarez gets the start for Philadelphia. He's 8-5 with a 2.94 ERA. Brady Singer gets the start for Cincinnati. He's 9-9 with a 4.53 ERA. That's the first game on the docket. Next game to pay attention to, Chicago and Toronto. Toronto helped you out on Sunday. It'd be nice, since the Padres trail the Cubs now by 1 game, it would be nice to see the Blue Jays help the Padres out again and beat the Cubs. Cubs have Ben Brown, 5-7 with a 6.04 ERA. Blue Jays going with Jose Barrios, who's 8-4 with a 3.89 ERA. The Cubs pitching staff's going to do them in. They didn't really improve that much on the pitching staff. The bullpen hasn't been very good. They've been able to out-hit everybody all year. They made minor moves, but their pitching staff's going to kill them. And we'll see. I mean, they're pitching a guy with a 6.04 ERA in Ben Brown. He's going tonight against Jose Barrios, north of the border. Again, you're rooting for the Blue Jays tonight if you're the San Diego Padres. Atlanta and New York. Spencer Strider for the Braves, 5-9, 4.04 ERA. Clay Holmes for the Mets, 9-6, 3.46 ERA. This is a little bit of a break. Mets have lost 7 games in a row. They're due for a win. Although, what's the latest status on the Mets? How are they playing, Frank? Are they getting are they getting unlucky, or are they just actually not playing well?
No, these last couple of days have been unlucky, but they're, for the most part, they're not playing well. For the most part,
none like Adam Klug's at Atlanta Braves to get you right, huh?
Can only hope, right?
He came in to start the day. Like, let's be fired up on a Tuesday. Are we never not fired up on any day? We come out guns blazing most times than not. And is he going to talk some smack on the Mets? And he's like, no need. They know. It's over. And I'm like, wow. You can't hurt him, though. He's already given up on the season for Atlanta. And he's locked into Padres baseball. And you can't even hurt him on the Falcons, because the Falcons aren't expected to do anything good anyway. You're running out of things to hurt him on. Unless Georgia football just plummets.
Gunnar Stockton ACL injury.
No injury. Don't wish injuries.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
On kids. Terrible. So that's the Braves and the Mets tonight. You're obviously rooting for Atlanta. Rockies, Cardinals. Again, Cardinals are hanging on for dear life. They are 61-59. Padres win the season series over St. Louis, so you get an extra half game on them. You're currently 7 games up on St. Louis. I don't think it's that big of a deal to start worrying about them yet. They got Colorado tonight, so, root for Colorado to get a win so they don't become the White Sox. Remember, we talked about this before. The Rockies have to win 11 games to not be the White Sox. 10 games to tie the White Sox, correct? Because the White Sox had, 40 wins last year?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah. They were 40 and 120, yeah.
Since we mentioned that, they have now lost 8 straight games. They're 30-88. They need 10 games to tie the White Sox. They need 11 games to not be last year's White Sox. I don't even know if they can do that. We asked Ello last week if he thinks so, because he watches the Rockies on a daily basis. Because Lori's from Colorado.
Yes.
And he was like, they should be able to do that. Well, they haven't done it since. So we'll see what happens with Colorado. I'm not really too into the Colorado Cardinals game tonight. And obviously the biggest one for the Padres. The 2 biggest ones for me are the Padres. If you're looking up, eyes up, keep climbing, don't look behind you. Cubs and Blue Jays, Dodgers, Angels. Dodgers, Angels will start at 6:38 because of the big A. For some reason, they start games at 38. Emmett Sheehan, I don't even know that. 3-2 on the year. Tyler Anderson is 2-7, the 4.63 ERA. Dodgers are employing a lot of people I've never heard of before. My buddy texted me last night, who in the world is Alex Call? And I'm like, I don't know, some dude on the Dodgers, I guess.
National for a long time.
Long time.
Long time being 2-3 years.
Yep. Now on the Dodgers. That's what you need to watch for. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Padres are just a game back to the NL West, but they still got 6 games to go against LA, and they still got 43 games left in the regular season. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. I was pleasantly surprised with how the Padres did in terms of gaining another game on LA, but we'll talk about how the NL West lays out in our next segment. Let's pump the brakes a little bit and not get ahead of ourselves, because there is a big weekend looming for the Padres. Braden Surprenant show rolls on. 11:17 on a Tuesday. Padres baseball coming up at this 6:45 start in San Francisco.
It is a 6:45 start in San Francisco.
Yeah, there's an extra 5 minutes they need, I guess, get things going. That means there's a 5:45 Eco Water SoCal Padres pregame show with Sam Levitt start today, following Gwen and Chris, who are after us at 2 o'clock. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. How we feeling about the Padres right now? It's a good time to be a Padres fan. John Miller said it yesterday. It is a good time to be a Padres fan. The Padres are a game out of first place. A game out of first place. Trying to track down the Los Angeles Dodgers and win a division for the first time since 2006. They had a game 163 in 2007, and they were close in 2010, but had a 10-game losing streak in August. That really devoured them.
Also just realized we have a hour-and-a-half show tomorrow. That one just hit me because it's a 12:45 start.
It is?
Tomorrow.
It's not a night, like a
No,
weird
it's
nighttime?
not.
Why did I get my oil change tomorrow? Dang it. I was thinking about that, and then I hit Tuesday instead of Wednesday on my appointment I had to make for the whatever.
I was typing it out on Sunday night, and it didn't hit me until just now. I was like, "Ooh, we're done at 11:40 tomorrow."
Nice. Time to go to Long Island Mike's for lunch.
You know what? I might have to tell San Diego FC that. That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah,
to do.
You probably should.
Yeah, that would be
Game
a
tomorrow
good
is at
idea.
12:45, which means pregame show tomorrow. Eco Water SoCal Padres pregame show is at 11:45, which means there's really no time to have a player on tomorrow.
No, we were trying to get
Beard.
Yeah, Beard, the new acquisition, former Cathedral Catholic player from San Diego FC. Should probably tell them that. Probably.
All right. Well,
probably can't do that this week.
Well, Frank's apologizing to SDFC for not being able to read a calendar that I didn't properly read either. Apparently,
no, I read the calendar. I just didn't comprehend what I was reading. Reading and reading comprehension are two different things.
Didn't do well on that part of the SAT, did you, Frank?
I never took my SATs.
Didn't have to?
I assumed that everyone had to. So I was waiting for the day.
Just hand it to you?
Yeah, no, I was just waiting for okay, you're taking your SAT or your alphabet group is taking the SAT on this day, be here at this time. And I never got it. So I never took my SAT.
Because you're supposed to sign up yourself.
I didn't know that. And by the way, go Aztecs, more Penn State dynasty. Bad news on the Penn State dynasty.
Why? What happened?
I lost the national championship yesterday.
Hey, you know what? Big game Jimmy can't win big games.
24-16. I held the highest scoring team to 24 points. I'm happy with that. I've now lost my entire offense.
In the portal?
And no, graduation.
No. All right.
And my entire defensive line. So year 2 is going to be a very rough year for Penn State.
Well, good luck with that. I can't remember. Where did I take the I took the SAT at Poway High School. I remember doing that. I remember doing it after a football game, and it was just not focused. It was early in the morning. 7 hours of football in the pouring rain. Because I played the JV game and then the varsity game when I was a junior. Go down and get a lot of reps. Because our varsity team our seniors were loaded. And I remember just halfway through it, I'm like, why am I still doing this?
Go Aztecs says dish out the NIL.
Come on, brother.
I'm sorry. NCAA 26 has not implemented the commit a clear recruiting violation button. That, and I also am not coaching Michigan, so I couldn't hit that button anyway.
Hail to the victors with the biggest wallets. All right. So I guess we're off tomorrow at 11:40 something.
Yes.
Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves about tomorrow. Let's not get ahead of ourselves in terms of the division race either. Padres are one single game back in the NL West. They still have 43 games to go and 6 against Los Angeles. And as I mentioned before we got a little sidetracked, the Padres have not won the division since 2006. There is nothing more that I'd like to see than the Western Metal Supply Company building unveil a Western Division Champs sign. because that was something that I obviously took for granted back in 05 and 06, thinking that they were going to do it more than just twice and be able to see it multiple times. I think that'd be fun to see again. And hopefully that is the case with the Padres. But they got to be able to win it first, and you got to track down the Dodgers first. I mean, the Padres have erased a 9-game deficit down to a 1-game deficit in the standings. The Padres were 9 games out of first place on the 4th of July. And at that point in time, I remember people going like, time to focus on the wild card. Division's over. And since then, the Dodgers have not played good baseball, and the Padres have played really good baseball. And they've chipped away, and they have slowly improved their way in the standings. Now just a game out of first place for the National League West. The division has been so out of realm I don't even realize how the advantages it is to win the division. I mean, the Padres are playing potentially for a first-round bye, getting the division championship. It would be guaranteed to host the first round of the playoffs, regardless if it's in the wild card in the division series. I mean, it'd be nice for this team, and we've seen a lot of teams in the division series that did not play in the wild card have some tough times of having time off, but to not have to play that first round definitely helps out. But again, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. It's good to be excited, but you have to keep everything realistic. The division is absolutely the goal right now. So this is how this breaks down. You look at, and there's an interesting article today, and we're going to get to it next, when it comes to who has the toughest road left of the season. Padres have an easier road than most teams. Not the easiest road of all the teams in Major League Baseball. I think the Yankees have the easiest road left, which they need all the help they can get right now. But if you look at the National League for the month of August, the final month of August, in some key series, the Los Angeles Dodgers for the month of August have 3 games against the Angels, which is now down to 2 games, who has a winning percentage of .478. They got the Padres 6 times, who have a winning percentage of .557. This is going into yesterday with the Rockies mixed in. Then they got the Reds, who are battling for a playoff spot, and they got the Diamondbacks. That's the rest of August. Big series, Padres and Dodgers. Obviously, August 15th to the 17th and August 22nd to the 24th. As for the Padres, as many of you know the schedule, because we've said it ad nauseum, Giants, Dodgers, Mariners, Twins. That's a tough strength of schedule, at least for the month of August. It gets a lot easier in the month of September. When you look at games back, the easiest way to understand this, and I didn't understand this until like 8-9 years ago, because you look at the amount of games back and you see 5 games back and you think of, you just got to win 5 games. They got to lose 5 games. That doesn't seem like a lot with 43 games left to go. And then you get frustrated when you win a game not on the same day that the team that you're chasing loses a game. And it usually just kind of balances out. You have to view it in terms of series. So if you're 1 game back in the standings, now it's different when you play each other, right? So like the Padres playing the Dodgers is better because there's more opportunities to gain more games because you're automatically going to get that 1-for-1. Because you win, they lose, you pick up a game. But after those series are over, you have to understand this. So if the Padres complete their 6 games against LA and they're tied in the standings, it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, you just got to outdo the Dodgers for the remainder of the year in terms of you got to outdo them in series. You have to win more series than the Dodgers win in the month of September. That's basically where you're at if you finish after those 6 games tied in the standings. If you're a game back, you have to do 1 series better than LA just to tie, which means you got to be 2 series better in order to win it outright. And again, if the Padres win 2 out of 3 and 2 out of 3, it's not going to be enough to win the tiebreaker because the Dodgers beat up on the Padres in the first 7 games and went 5-2. So, if you want to win the tiebreaker too, the Padres are going to have to really do some damage at either Petco Park or in Los Angeles. But let's throw the tiebreakers out for a second. Let's say you just want to beat them outright. So if you're 2 games back, you have to win 2 series, and the Dodgers have to lose 2 extra series down the stretch. That's the best way to view it. So when you're looking at games, like, oh, they're only 2 games back with 43 games to play, which is, they're 1 game back with 43 games to play. They're 1 series back. And so if the Padres can win this series against the Giants and the Dodgers lose the series against the Angels, they will be 1 game back going into Friday. But if the Dodgers win the next 2 games and the Padres lose 1 game, they're going to go back to the 2 games that they're out. Because, again, it's about series. You got to be thinking about series, not necessarily games. So being 1 game back, very obviously obtainable, especially when you play the Dodgers 6 times. But I'm still fully expecting, because I don't think the Padres are going to sweep San Francisco. I hope they do. It'd be very nice if they did. But I don't think they're going to sweep San Francisco, and I don't think LA is going to lose a series to the Angels, even though the Angels have owned the Dodgers the last couple of years. Just like go into it thinking the Padres will probably split the next 2 games against San Francisco, and the Dodgers are probably going to sweep the next 2 games against Anaheim, the Los Angeles Angels of Fullerton, Fullerton, Orange, Irvine, all the other cities in Anaheim. In Orange County, that particular team. I would expect the Dodgers to sweep those 2 games. I expect the Padres to split with the Giants. They both go 2 out of 3 against either team, and you go into Chavez Ravine on Friday 2 games back. It'd be nice to be 1 game back. So if the Padres can sweep the Giants in the next 2, that's even better. If the Angels sweep the Dodgers, I would be shocked. That would be ideal. I mean, if the Padres can... And that's why I don't like getting into the if they can do this, if and what ifs with sweeps. Asking a major league team to sweep another team, as bad as their opponent might be, it's a difficult ask. I mean, everybody, and we've heard this spiel so many times, everybody's got good players. Even the bad teams have good players. Even the Rockies have players on their team that are very good at baseball in the grand scheme of things across the globe. They're still some of the best athletes to play this game in the world. And asking a team, however good they are, in a sport about failure, to sweep a team in 3 or 4 games is a very hard ask. And if they do it, that means they've accomplished a very large feat. So to ask the Padres to sweep San Francisco and for the Angels to sweep the Dodgers, as sick as that would be for a lot of Padres fans, it's not something that's that realistic. So I think, like, worst, I think the Padres are going to win at least 1 more game in San Francisco. You have to view it as best case scenario, you go into LA down a game. Worst case scenario, you go into LA down 2 games. If you go into LA down 3 games, it's not going to be that. It's added pressure where you need the Dodgers to mess up against the Rockies sometime next week, which I don't think is going to be the case. But again, as I mentioned before, it's hard to sweep a team in 4 series. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we talked a little bit about the Padres and a little bit about the Dodgers. Where's everybody else in this stretch run? The August stretch run overview. Who's got the easiest path? Who's got the most difficult path? And I'm going to tell you right now, a team with the most difficult path is in the National League, and it's good news for the Padres. We will talk about that when we come back. We'll try to get you all the information needed. We will also get to a sports thread with Frank Marchese. Frank's always got a lot of good stories. A lot of good stories around sports. We haven't really talked about the Otani thing. We might talk about that a little bit later. It's not in the sports fix today. In the sports thread. But we'll get to all of that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, standing as number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. 11:37 on the Fan and into our lunchtime hour in the next segment and next hour. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. To start the new lunchtime hour, Trey White, San Diego State edge rusher, is joining us. Talk more Aztec football as they get geared up for their first game against Stony Brook. Telling you, they're going to be better. They're going to be better than last year, which is not a high bar. But I like everything they're doing right now over at San Diego State when it comes to their football program. 7 o'clock, August 28th, San Diego State, Stony Brook. They are scrimmaging this weekend, correct, Frank?
They're scrimmaging on Thursday night.
That's right. Thursday night.
I believe it might be part of the Fan Fest thing that they're doing.
I think so. I think you have to pay for parking for that, but then
I
everything
believe
else is
so.
free.
Yeah. Yes.
Like $10 or something like that. Where is it? I'm sure they have it on their website. Anyway, so their home opener against Stony Brook will air on KUSI. We had that news yesterday. 7 p.m. kickoff on August 28th against Stony Brook. I think that game might be close, but I think the Aztecs can pull that one off. Stony Brook's not bad. I mean, somebody's like, I don't want to go against a no-name team.
You know, Stony Brook is a very solid FCS program. They're not quite as good as North Dakota, but
yeah.
they are a solid. They're contending for their conference every single year. It's a very good program.
So we'll have Trey White on in the next segment coming up at noon as Aztecs continue their fall camp, and they will have a handful of games at home this season. They will have Stony Brook on August 28th. Then on September 20th, that's against Cal. Doing a beach bash on October 3rd. They're doing Hispanic Heritage and Family Weekend against Colorado State. Homecoming and Heroes Appreciation on November 1st. And a Fan Appreciation game against San Jose State on November 22nd. Some of the home theme games for San Diego State this year. And again, we'll talk more Aztec football later on with Trey White. Now, back to Padres baseball. Toughest road for the remainder of season. Really just in the month of August. We're in the August stretch run right now. In the American League, we'll go through it very quickly because we got to get to the sports thread at 11:45. You look at the American League, Toronto has about a 500 strength of schedule. They actually have the second hardest strength of schedule in the American League to finish it out. Their key games are against the Rangers, last American League contender before a softer run versus Pittsburgh, Miami, and Minnesota. For the Blue Jays, they have a 98% chance of making the playoffs. Best record right now in the American League at 69-50. They got a decent strength of schedule for the remainder part of August. Second best team in the American League, the Detroit Tigers, sits at 68-51. They have a 97% chance of making the postseason. Their strength of schedule is 487. Not one of the more difficult ones. In fact, one of the easier schedules to go through. They have a couple of big series against Kansas City coming up in August, the 22nd through the 24th, and the 29th to the 31st. They have a chance to bury the Royals. Other things for you. Mariners have the toughest schedule in the American League remaining. It's because they got to play the Padres for the Vetter Cup. Padres need to sweep the Vetter Cup and beat up on the Mariners if they want to win it. Unfortunately. They're at that. The easiest strength of schedule in the American League is the New York Yankees at a 483 win percentage of their opponents. They have an 80% chance of making the postseason. They have a very big series against the Red Sox at the end of August, August 21st to the 24th. Same thing with the Red Sox. Yankees have the easiest remaining schedule in the American League. Mariners have the toughest remaining schedule in the American League. On to the National League. Here's the thing about the National League and the road ahead. Brewers have a tough schedule. Mets have a tough schedule. But nobody's schedule in the remaining part of August, and really September, is more difficult than the team that's currently on the outside looking in to a playoff spot in the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are 62-57. They have a 12% chance of making the postseason. They have a 518 opponent win percentage. That is the most difficult schedule remaining in Major League Baseball, at least for the contending teams. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago when the Padres were really competing with holding off the Reds for the final spot of the National League wild card. But the Reds have a brutal West Coast swing they got to go on that starts with a home series against the Milwaukee Brewers. And that 5/18 strength of schedule, I think, is what's going to do the Reds in and put them under. They've battled hard all year. We'll see what happens against Philly tonight, but their strength of schedule is tough. It makes it a little bit easier for the Padres, the Mets, the Cubs, the Phillies at focusing on division and seeding races more than just making the postseason. I think the National League's very cut and dry. Now, a lot of things could change in about a week. But as of right now, the way things are trending and the way that the Reds have to play a lot of the top teams in the National League coming up, their tough schedule is, I think, going to do them in. Easiest road, as mentioned before, Yankees, 43 win percentage in terms of strength of schedule, a chance to climb back into the wild card in the American League, maybe even more. Hardest road is the Cincinnati Reds. Their playoff push will be a gauntlet. They basically have already started the playoffs. A lot of division decider games. Brewers and Cubs play 5 games in 4 days. Dodgers, Padres play 6 games in 10 days. Other wild card showdowns, Red Sox, Yankees, Rangers, Guardians, Mets, Phillies. And some teams in the danger zone, Mariners, long East Coast trip, and Astros have 23 games in 23 days. Only some of these teams are built for the gauntlet. Some of these teams are going to fold. We'll talk more about that maybe later on in the show, but it's time to get to today's sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All right, Frank, what we got going on today that doesn't involve the Padres?
Well, we have 2 John Gruden stories today, and we'll start with one.
Number 1.
This one came down a little bit later last night. The Nevada Supreme Court said yesterday that they side with former Vegas Raiders coach John Gruden in his lawsuit alleging the NFL leaked damaging emails to the media before he resigned from the team in 2021. In their 5-2 ruling, justices did not determine whether or not the league had leaked Gruden's emails, but they found that the league's decision to force his complaint into arbitration proceedings overseen by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, the target of Gruden's civil lawsuit, was, quote, unconscionable. As a former employee, Gruden should not have been bound by a provision in the NFL Constitution mandating arbitration for such complaints. Good win by Gruden here to be able to get out, to kind of be able to get out from under this, at least in the slightest little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's he wins the arbitration case, right? Or
yes,
whatever
it's the arbitration case. Yeah,
I mean, it kind of clears some things. Obviously, he still said the things that he said in those particular emails. I don't know if this leads to him potentially getting a coaching job again. You could tell he's got under this barstool thing to try to save face a lot and be everybody's buddy again. But we'll see where this leads. I mean, obviously, for John Gruden and his family, it's probably a big win for him. I don't know much more out of this. I don't know if any NFL team is going to hire him again. I don't know if a college team hires him to be a head coach. I mean, I'm all for second chances, everything like that. We'll see how it plays out, but it's obviously a big win for John Gruden.
Well, that leads into
Number 2.
Former NFL coach John Gruden, who resigned in 2021 amid controversy over emails, has made it clear that he wants back on the sidelines, but coaching college football in the vaunted SEC. Gruden said he would jump at the chance. While speaking at an engagement with the Georgia Bulldogs, Gruden said, "The only reason I came here is I want to coach again. I'm being honest with you. I do not BS either. I want to coach again. I would die to coach in the SEC. I would love it. I would bleeping love it." Do you see John Gruden getting a prime, not just a coaching job in college football, but a prime coaching job like in the SEC?
Are we talking head coach? Or are we talking like OC? Like
I don't
he could
think
be like a
I don't
coordinator.
think he would do anything other than head coach.
I don't know. That guy seems like he loves football. I mean, he's coaching the Barstool guys
Yes.
with like dumb things.
Good Lord, yes, he is.
He's so.
God bless him on that.
If he got an opportunity to be an OC, he'd totally jump at it. The media thing's not for him. You could tell. I think he could be an OC. I think he would jump at an opportunity to be any type of coach at the college level. And a lot of these coaches, like they'll go be analysts, so they'll be other things for a little bit, and then they'll get an opportunity to be a head coach. I think you do a good job in the SEC. And if you're going to coach college football, the best place to be is the SEC. It's the most NFL-like league out there. The money's good. You're in a place where the money goes far. Very passionate group and very high-level competition. So I'd be interested to watch him coach college football. I mean, think about all the big names coaches in the SEC and then seeing John Gruden line up against them on a Saturday afternoon.
How do you think he would do as a recruiter? Like, he has a very intense love and passion for this sport.
I think he'd actually do a pretty good job recruiting.
You don't think that might put some people off as to how intense he can be?
Depends how much money they're getting paid.
That is also true.
Most of the kids now just want to know how much money they're getting paid.
That is also
What's my
very,
playing
very
time
true.
like? How much money am I getting paid? Oh, a lot? And a lot? All right, I'm in. That's basically what it is with kids now. They don't really care.
Which is gonna be so good for the future.
No, I know. They could give a rat's ass about a lot of the stuff. I mean, the high level prospects. How much money are you paying me? How much playing time am I going to get? That's it. That's all I care about.
Golden age of college football upcoming, folks.
Number 3.
Their agents get 25%.
Exactly right. Texas, fresh off their number 1 ranking in the preseason AP Top 25 poll, finds itself a 2.5-point underdog to number 3 Ohio State for their Week 1 showdown in Columbus, according to ESPN Bet. But again, we don't encourage betting here. Barring significant line movement,
Anybody want to ask John Mateer that question?
Yeah, right. Barring significant line movement, would make the Longhorns the first top-ranked team to be an underdog in Week 1, according to ESPN research data going back to 1978. The previous tightest Week 1 point spread for a number 1 team was when Florida State lost outright as a 4-point favorite to number 8 Miami in 1988. So if you're going to make them the underdog, why would they be the number 1 team in the country?
They're playing on the road and they're playing the number 3 team in the country.
But why make them the number 1 if they're going to be the underdog? Which I'm not saying they shouldn't be the underdog. They should be. Why are they number 1 if you're going to immediately put them as the underdog?
I mean, they could be the best team in the country and still. I mean, most teams going to Ohio State are underdogs.
Right, but if you are the best team in the country,
if they played that game,
shouldn't that
Texas,
mean?
No, it shouldn't.
If you're the best team in the country, shouldn't that mean you have the best chance to win everywhere?
It's betting. If Ohio State went to Texas, is Texas a favorite? Yeah. If Ohio State's number 1 in the country and they have to play at Texas to start the season, guess who's going to be the betting favorite? It's going to be Texas. If it's a neutral site game, Texas is probably the favorite in that game. But it's about betting. Like, I wouldn't bet a lot of money on anybody going into Ohio State and winning. And so from the betting line standpoint, they're trying to make the bet as most intriguing as possible to make the lines as even as possible. So they probably got a lot of money on Ohio State in a coin flip game. It's going to lean the line a little bit to try to get some action on Texas. I mean, I'd bet Ohio State's going to win that game, but that doesn't necessarily mean I think Ohio State is a better team all year long. But in that particular environment, I do think they're better than Texas. It's the rankings are about like overall perception of the team throughout, at the time, not individual groupings of game situations. There's teams that match up well with other teams that are, ranked higher than them. That just sometimes it's matchups. But with betting, it's tough, and they haven't seen any of these guys all year.
No,
I mean, the AP people are just picking Texas because they got Arch Manning and stuff.
No, exactly right. So in that case, even they shouldn't be number 1.
Number 4.
Big hit for NIL coming in. Are we ready for this? We're getting in trouble now. A North Carolina judge has dismissed a lawsuit filed by the 1983 North Carolina State men's basketball team, shutting down the national championship winners' request for name, image, and likeness compensation. The team that was known as the Cardiac Pack for a series of nail-biting victories, including a 54-52 win over Houston in the 83 national championship game. Lorenzo Charles sealed the victory with a buzzer-beating dunk, and Coach Jim Valvano rushed the court. 12 players had filed a suit requesting a jury and reasonable compensation in June of 2024. Quote, for more than 40 years, the NCAA and its co-conspirators have systematically and intentionally misappropriated the Cardiac Pack's publicity rights, including their name, image, and likeness associated with the game and that play, reaping scores of millions of dollars from the Cardiac Pack's legendary victory, the lawsuit said. Should these NC State men's basketball players have gotten some NIL money at some point down the line?
All right, so they're saying that
they
won the national championship in 1983,
and the NCAA has been
making money off of
it ever since. So they should have gotten some sort of compensation, and they just now lost a lawsuit trying to get that compensation.
Why should they get paid? What do they need to get paid for?
Name, image, and likeness.
Their name, image, and likeness from back when they weren't supposed to be getting it. And it's the thing. It's like, what about all of the major league players that could have been making more money back in that aren't making as much money as they are now?
Yeah. But
should they have a case for like how much money they should make?
This is the wormhole that NIL opens up, and now you have to start setting precedents of whether or not what seems fair and what's not.
Just because you won a national championship and it was very exciting and they play highlights doesn't mean you should get paid. People just want free money all the time. Like, I deserve this. No, you don't. You won a national championship. Move on with your life. Good for the denial group on that one. Are you kidding? We won in 1983. We should get paid now. Give me a break. 12 o'clock, noon lunchtime hour. Starting with Trey White when we come back.
Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
New lunchtime hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Craft Taco Bold Flavors at 2 locations, Sorrento Valley and inside Balboa Park's Natural History Museum. Frank has been to the one at the Natural History Museum
I have
multiple times now.
that
Walked past it once.
that I know of.
Yes, and has physically ate there. The other time, we were waiting on San Diego State and Trey White. We will get to them as soon as they join us today. It'll be good to talk with the the defensive lineman for San Diego State, the junior edge rusher out of Eastlake High School. Had a great career at Eastlake High School. Has had a great career at San Diego State and had a lot of opportunity to leave San Diego State. I mean, he was leading sack. One of the leading sack defensive linemen in the country last year, and had opportunities to leave after a rough season for the Aztecs. He is a San Diego kid, wanted to stay, and a lot of the Aztecs defense stayed from last year. More experience, and should be, again, as I mentioned before, a lot better for the Aztecs here in 2025. Just waiting on them to give us a call. We talked about the toughest road in Major League Baseball coming up in the next couple of weeks, at least through the month of August, and some big matchups that are happening. Again, we talked about the big games today that matter. If you're scoreboard watching for the San Diego Padres, yesterday it worked out in the Padres' favor for both. Philadelphia beat Cincinnati 4-1, and the Angels beat the Dodgers 7-4. The halo was shining bright last night in America's finest, or in Southern California. Phillies and Reds tonight at 3:40 or this afternoon. Cubs and Blue Jays at 4:07. Again, you're hoping the Phillies and the Blue Jays win. Braves and Mets, you're rooting for the Braves tonight at 4:10, unless your name's Frank Marchese. Rockies and Cardinals, rooting for the Rockies, kind of. And then Dodgers and Angels again, rooting for the Angels, as the Padres will get ready to take on the San Francisco Giants. Padres now have put the Giants a game under 500 after last night's victory. Good solid win for the Padres as they win 4-1 over the Giants last night. And we talked about it earlier on the show about Freddy Fermin and how important Freddy Fermin has been, and how important Freddy Fermin has been in terms of like the trade deadline pickup, how big of a pickup he's been. But overall, yesterday, as we kind of recap what the Padres game was, kind of reset here in the noon lunchtime hour, you had good production offensively out of Fernando. He went 2 for 5, scored a run. He's back up to a 264 average. Manny Machado got a knock. He went 1 for 3. He's just under the 300 mark right now, hitting 297. Jackson Merrill had a good night last night, hitting 3. It was 3 for 4. In the next segment, we're going to dive deeper into Jackson Merrill and where he has been able to kind of turn things around since the All-Star break. Xander Bogarts was 0 for last night, but his average is up to 268. We got more information and more stats to break down on Xander Bogarts at the 1 o'clock hour. How about Gavin Sheets last night? Gavin Sheets going 2 for 3 and 251 in the season. Had a great first half, was a big reason why this Padres club was competitive in the first half, really earned his spot as a San Diego Padre. Padres trade for Ryan O'Hearn, and then Gavin Sheets, his role drastically changed. But good on him to when he gets the opportunity and gets an opportunity to start, he goes out there and competes and gets a 2 for 3 night and contributes to the offense for the San Diego Padres, contributes in left field. That's the type of play you like to see. I mean, obviously his world changed after the trade deadline. He was still a member of the Padres, he was still part of this team, but now all of a sudden his role is spot starting in the field, potentially a spot start DH, and a lot of opportunities coming off the bench to be a late inning big bat guy. And so Gavin Sheets going 2 for 3, I think was very meaningful last night for the Padres, because it's tough for guys to be everyday starters and then have to go back to the bench, or be everyday starters and then go to the bench for the first time, having to be that pinch hit player. That's always difficult to do. Gavin Sheets so far has done a good job, I think, handling the situation he has been dealt and controlling his controllables, controlling what he can control. Bryce Johnson last night did get an at-bat. He was able to reach. And then he came around to score. Cronenworth 1 for 4. Freddy Fermin, as mentioned before, 1 for 4. The run scored, 2 RBIs. The bottom of your order, yet again, did almost the majority of the damage. 2 hits out of Sheets, 1 out of Cronenworth, 1 out of Fermin. They accumulated 3 of the Padres' 4 runs. And so they had that 4 for 11 night at the plate, and they're doing a lot of damage with only 1 strikeout out of 7, 8, and 9. I mean, that's a huge play for a team that is expected to be a postseason team, a team that is expected to do damage in the postseason. Teams that go on to win a World Series usually get a lot of contributions from 7, 8, 9. We talked a little about Darvish. Darvish, 6 innings last night. 1 earned run, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. Gave up the 1 home run to Rafael Devers. And in his last 3 starts, has a sub-3 ERA. He's starting to really get it into gear in the starting rotation, which is going to be tremendously helpful for the San Diego Padres in the remaining part of the season and in the postseason. I mean, you got Darvish turning things around. You have Dylan Cease turning things around. And when you start piecing together what a rotation will look like in the postseason, it's Michael King. And there was a good breakdown of Michael King from Letters to AJ. And when he could locate, which is the last thing that comes to you after an injury, like an IL stint, when he located, he looked like vintage Michael King. And so you got Michael King potentially starting a game 1 of a playoff series, going Nick Pivetta game 2. You have options with Darvish and Cease with how good they've been pitching game 3 or game 4, and you don't even have to use Nestor Cortez or JP Sears. All of a sudden, they're bullpen pieces for this bullpen that you have that has been electric. You saw Estrada last night. You saw Miller last night. You saw Suarez last night. Combined bullpen was 3 innings pitched, no runs, only allowed a hit, and punched out 4. Lights out for the bullpen last night against the San Francisco Giants. You were able to put 4 runs up on Logan Webb. Logan Webb has been one of their best pitchers for San Francisco and one of the better pitchers that you'll face in Major League Baseball. Jumped out on him, got the 4 runs, and that was all she wrote last night. We talked about Freddy Fermin again earlier on the show. He might be the best pickup the Padres have had this trade deadline. For what he has done at the plate, he's at 370 at the plate. He's at 370 at the plate since becoming a Padre. 370. It's remarkable. Not only that, I think the biggest thing from him was last night catching Darvish. It's a very difficult thing to do because he's got all of these pitches, and a lot of his pitches have different variations of said pitch. So very difficult to do, and he did a tremendous job. And you look like he was settled in. You look like he trusted Freddy Fermin. And last night, as mentioned before, was the first time Freddy Fermin had ever caught Darvish in any type of role. Bullpen, warming up, anything. Last night was the first. Freddy Fermin looks like you have almost gotten a steal in acquiring him because he's under contract for the next 4 years. You got the rest of this season, and then you have Freddy Fermin for 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029. You got a great catcher. You got a good bullpen, a great bullpen. You got good starting pitching. You're good up the middle. They are set up for success and now trail the Dodgers by 1 game. They trail Chicago by 1 game. In the wild card standings, to be the number 1 team for the wild card, the number 4 team in the National League. And you've now distanced yourself from the Mets and you've distanced yourself from the Reds. And the Padres 1 through 9 is great. And I've said this before. I said it last week. Out of all the teams that the Padres have had that have made playoff pushes, out of all the teams that the Padres have had playoff pushes since 2020, this is the best team that they have had 1 through 9. This is the best lineup they've had 1 through 9. I mean, Jake Cronenworth's like hitting 7th or 8th more times than not in this lineup. I said it on opening day 2024. Opening day last year. When we were out at Baja Ricks, I said, because Jake Cronenworth was hitting high in the order, I said, if you want this team to be a playoff team, Jake Cronenworth is hitting 7th or 8th on this team. And that's exactly what he was hitting. That's exactly where he's hitting right now. 7th or 8th. I mean, on letters to AJ Substack, you have seen Ramon Laureano hit 7th a couple of times. He alluded to he is better than a 7 hitter in a lineup, but now he is a luxury for you at the bottom of the lineup. He is a luxury for you at the bottom of the lineup. Frank, see you just joined the chat. We know it's high school football season, Frank.
I didn't. Oh.
Scratch the Cougars back.
Well, there you go. Who scratched the Cougar?
He's Steel Canyon's mascot, dude.
Ah.
Scratch. He's like one of the most famous San Diego high school football mascots out there. Scratch the Cougar.
Gotcha.
Steel Canyon getting ready for their season this year. Scratch is back.
Hello, Scratch.
There you go. You don't know all the names of all the mascots in San Diego?
No, honestly, I don't.
Scratch the Cougar, up there. One of the best.
Sorry to disappoint.
You know who's also the Lincoln Hornet? I love the Lincoln Hornet. He's a great mascot. You see much of these guys. I'm not a big fan of Halo Joe, but that's, biases. Okay. You know who Halo Joe is?
No.
St. Augustine's mascot. His name's Halo Joe. But anyway, Scratch the Cougars back. It's good to have Scratch back for Steel Canyon. Any other high school football mascots want to join the chat? We'd love to have you.
I was going to say any San Diego high school mascot or college mascot for that matter that has a YouTube channel that would like to jump in the chat, please wage an all-out war in our chat. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
I got to look up who Steel Canyon's opening up with. Where's the Helix Scotty dog? Throw him out there. I love the high school football mascots in San Diego. The Lincoln Hornet's great. I love the Lincoln Hornet. Not as much as I love Scratch. Yeah, where's Gus the Foothiller? I didn't know the Foothiller's named Gus for Grossmont. Gus the Foothiller. Yeah, Scratch has the Ramona Bulldogs start the season off. Steel Canyon Ramona. That's a pretty good game to get things started. Again, high school football starts not this Friday, but the next Friday. You'll have the PPR on Friday nights. We'll give you updates on Fridays, little previews of all the games, not all the games, but all the big games in town. Frank's gonna get locked in. Gus is my boy. Gus the Foothiller and Scratch are buddies out there in East County. I love it. Shout out to Scratch the Cougar at Steel Canyon. We appreciate him jumping on the show today. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Freddy Fermin's been great. Love to see him. We're going to try to continue the Padres coverage when we come back. I don't know what happened with Trey White. We're going to track him down when we come back as well. Braden Surprenant Show rolls on.
Gambling problem?
12:19 on a Tuesday. Got to reschedule with San Diego State. A couple things came up, so Trey White will not be on with us today. He'll be on at a later date. We'll see what happens. We do want to dive into the postseason schedule, and I have found the article, Frank, about the postseason schedule. It's on MLB.com if you want to pull it up.
Gotcha.
And we'll break this down. So, again, the postseason schedule for Major League Baseball, there's some significant items to this. And a couple of things that Major League Baseball said about the postseason schedule. Now, the majority of these dates were already selected earlier, but this is now the finalized one. The big debate was whether or not they would flex the World Series games up if the NLCS and the ALCS finished earlier than expected. So, like, if both the ALCS and the NLCS finished in 4 games, there's all these extra days between the CS and the World Series. They were going to bump the World Series up. They decided not to do that. But there's a lot of different information on this postseason schedule, Frank.
Yeah, so the wild card series will be held September 30th through October 2nd on all ESPN platforms. So it would be ABC, ESPN 1 and 2 will be the wild card series. After that, you're going to the divisional series. The NLDS, the National League Division Series, will be on TBS. The American League Series will be on Fox. It'll be the same thing through the LCS as well. And then the World Series you will find on Fox this year, with the playoffs being over. If it goes the duration, will be over November 1st.
Here's how the series ports out in terms of dates. The wild card will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All of them will be the deal. So Tuesday will be all 4 wild card games, game 1. Wednesday will be all 4 wild card games, game 2, and then Thursday will be the if necessary games for the wild card. Friday, October 3rd, everybody's off. They will resume the division series on Saturday. And for the National League, they have what was stated, which I think is very interesting and also very significant, is the fact that there's going to be a couple of extra days off in the division series, at least originally reported. So I'm trying to pull up the exact part of that. The 2 National League Division Series will have an extra scheduled off day between games 1 and 2, a format that allows a team to have the same pitchers start games 1 and 4 and games 2 and 5 on normal 4 days rest. Last year, the American League Division Series had the extra day off, and the National League did not. So that's significant, obviously, with the pitching staff that the Padres have. If they protect, this is thinking down the road. We said earlier, don't get too ahead of yourself. Down the road, in a divisional series, they'll have the 2 divisional series in the National League play on Saturday, October 4th. Then they're going to be off on Sunday. Then they'll be back on Monday, and they're going to be off Tuesday. And then back on Wednesday, and then game 4 on Thursday, extra day off Friday, and then you play again on Saturday for game 5. So it's National League Divisional Series. Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday are your 5 games in the Divisional Series with a couple extra days off, which means, as stated in that last deal, if you go games 1, it gives you an opportunity to have your game 1 starter pitch game 4 and your game 2 starter pitch game 5. So you could go, let's pencil it out. Assuming you don't have to worry about too much of the wild card series, or if you finagle that, or if you make it through. But your divisional series, if you're at full strength and everything works out to you, Michael King can start game 1. Nick Pivetta can start. What do you mean?
I'd probably have Pivetta pitch game 1, honestly.
I'd have King pitch game 1. By the time they get to that point, I think they're going to be locked in. Again, when he located, he was fine.
I agree. I'm just saying, I think that Pivetta has pitched overall better even before King got hurt. I think you can make a very strong case that Pivetta should get the number 1, should get 1 and 4.
I think you can, but I like him pitching game 2. So I'd go You go King 1, you go Pivetta 2, then you go Cease 3, and then you go back to King. You don't even need to use Darvish. Or you use Darvish instead.
Or use Darvish to piggyback off of Cease in game 3. Like give Cease one trip through the order, a trip and a half, and then have Darvish come in for 2-3 innings.
You know, King 1, Pivetta 2, you can go Cease or Darvish 3, you go back to King game 4, and back to Pivetta game 5. And then that way, if it's a must-win game, game 5, you got fiery Nick Pivetta out there. When's Joe Musgrove pitch? He wants to pitch so bad. His interview with the
opening day
TV,
2026. That is when Joe Musgrove pitches again. Opening day 2026.
Keeping it real. Musgrove pitches game 3. I just don't want him to. I don't want him to get hurt.
Exactly.
He seems like he's done the process very well. He's getting there. I think he doesn't want to put a timeline on it. I mean, I'd love to see if Joe is physically able to do it without hurting himself, like without further injury. The nostalgia thing would be kind of good, but he's got to get geared up again. Like I don't see it happening. I mean, he would have to, in order for me to feel comfortable with Joe pitching in the playoffs, I think he would have to get a couple of opener starts at the end of September, and I don't think he's ready for that yet. I don't know. I'm not watching his rehab. I mean, the guy's been going fast, but still, like, I don't know.
If I'm Mike Schilt, I am bringing Musgrove into the office and saying, please, for the love of it all, can you please say out to the media that you are not pitching this year, and I will give you opening day next year. Please. Just do that for me. I will give you opening day next year. Put a rest to this. Because I'm going to get really tired of hearing the questions in September of when is Joe coming back. Please just say you're not pitching this year, and I will give you opening day.
Making a deal. Joe's going to do his thing, man. I don't think anybody in the media should even ask about Joe Musgrove unless he is throwing and just be like, what's the latest? What's the latest on him throwing? But maybe he starts game 5. Goes out there, gives it his all.
No.
Starts game 7 in the NLCS, gets the Padres to the World Series. Comes back full strength, starts game 7 of the World Series at Petco Park. Wow. It's like what movies are made of. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I don't want to see Joe Musgrove pitch either. Not that he doesn't deserve it. He does, but I don't want to see him rush and sack. Any setbacks for 2026 would be catastrophically bad.
Exactly right.
Because you have no idea if Michael King's coming back next year. You have no idea if Dylan Cease is coming back next year, which I feel like he's probably not. You need somebody to pitch next year. I don't think they're going to make Mason Miller into a starting pitcher before 2026.
No.
So there's some interesting things at play there. But the best news is, in this particular schedule, you have extra days off in the division series now for the National League. So you only need 3 starting pitchers in the divisional series, theoretically. And you get the extra days off. It's not like last year when they pitched Dylan Cease on short rest. These guys will have the same amount of days off as they normally would. So that 3 to 4 starters you need in the playoffs is actually going to be 3 starters in the playoffs. Because you could go with your 1, 2, 3 in the wild card. I don't think you could go with, I guess you could. So your game 1 starter on September Tuesday, and then you go game 2 on Wednesday, game 3 on Thursday, game 4 on Friday, which doesn't exist, and then your 5th starter would be on Saturday technically. So you'd have to use a different starter, I guess, per se. You'd use your 4th starter if you had to go 3 games in the wild card, but if you go 2 games, you can have your game 3 starter start the divisional series, and then it's like, Cease is starting the divisional series. And then you could go to King again, and then you can go to Pivetta, and then, there's so many different things you could do. But the extra days off definitely help out everything that's lined up. Are you planning it out for the Mets, or do they got to win today before you start thinking about it?
I'm planning on which golf course to visit. Probably, because that's where they're going to end up being.
You go to Cancun?
No. No, it'll probably be somewhere near St. Lucie, somewhere near
You don't
their
think
spring
that, like,
training
right now,
facility.
like, your level of confidence in the Mets to make the playoffs?
Brother, I have watched Met baseball for far too long to know that.
2 months ago, you were just ecstatic. They're like the best team in baseball.
And that was my mistake.
You know,
that was really my mistake.
That's where things went wrong.
Exactly
in
right.
2025.
You made me believe, and now I'm regretting believing.
What's like the fool me once, fool me twice? They fooled you probably 1,000 times already.
Don't remind me.
That's where it all went wrong for the Mets. Frank bought in, started talking S, and all of a sudden, downhill.
Meanwhile, I'm seeing things pop up on my Twitter. 10 years ago, the parakeet thing with Cespedes, the yellow armband started today. Great. Thanks. 10 years ago, by the way.
Do you have Grimace to save you this time? I mean, Pablo Sanchez?
No.
What are we working with?
No,
what's
as a
the
matter of
gimmick
fact,
now?
as a matter of fact, it is quite funny how, like, kind of at the year anniversary of Grimace, the Grimace effect taking place, things just kind of fell off a cliff after that. So the 1 year anniversary of Grimace did not go well.
I'm looking at the. I got to go back and I got to see what is the Mets record this season since Frank wore a Mets jersey on the show. That might have been the ultimate curse. You did that on Monday, July 28th.
I did that for game 1 of the series. Yes.
Oh my God, you don't want to see this.
I know I don't. It's probably like what, 1-2 wins.
Oh, okay.
We're counting on the radio.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The Mets are 1-11 since Frank wore the Mets jersey in studio. 1-11. They got swept by and that was, by the way, after they had won 7 straight games. Mets win 7 straight games. Frank wears the Mets jersey in studio, then proceeds to lose all 3 games with the Padres, able to salvage 1 game against the Gigantes, gets swept by Cleveland, gets swept by Milwaukee, and now they're playing Atlanta. Maybe it was the jersey. Padres broke the Mets. Maybe Frank broke the Mets.
So again, I don't know why everyone's complaining still about me wearing a jersey. Because it's clearly helped.
It's clearly helped the Padres.
It has clearly helped eliminate one of your playoff rivals.
You know what? Frank sacrificed his beloved Mets season for the betterment of the Padres. That is the ultimate sacrifice. It's because he loves you guys out there. That's why.
Let's not get too carried away.
That's why he loves you guys. 1-11 for the Mets after Frank wore the jersey in studio.
It's not
Carlos, Frank. Hey, Frank, wear a Dodgers jersey this week, buddy.
Does it work that way? I wish it worked that way. It doesn't.
You're getting thanks now. Selfless act.
See?
You know what? Everybody was so mad that day, and they shouldn't have, because Frank was doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Spread the good news of Padres baseball. When we come back, Jackson Merrill. There's good news on Jackson Merrill. I'll tell you what it's about when we come back. And need a guest and a contestant for our midday sports standoff. We need to get to that as well as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show. Coming up in just a little bit will be our midday sports standoff. And if you want to call in, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you could take me down in sports trivia, you would be qualified for a grand prize, a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas, plus VIP admission to AYU Day Club, and a 175 food and beverage credit. Celebrate summer with a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. Dine poolside at one of the 5 unique pool experiences in the 5.5 acres pool complex, the largest elevated pool deck on the Las Vegas Strip, and experience AY Day Club, a stunning oasis inspired by the islands of Southeast Asia, where the ultimate party concepts transform the weekend into a never-ending summer. Special summer rates available now at rwlasvegas.com, now offering no resort fees and complimentary parking. I think we might have a contestant for that. Who knows?
We do.
And we will get to that in just a little bit. Before we get to that, we do want to talk a little bit about Jackson Merrill. And we got a couple of minutes here, so we will. So Jackson Merrill is starting to show improvement post All-Star break. Now, that being said, like I think Jackson Merrill has been the most unlucky baseball player in all of 2025. I think he's been the most unlucky. He's definitely been the most unlucky baseball player in the Padres. I mean, that's not even a question. And if you look at his advanced numbers, it definitely paints a picture that the guy is unlucky. He is having such an unlucky season. It's ridiculous. It's sickening. You look at him after he hits a seed right at somebody on defense that makes a phenomenal play, and just the expression that Jackson Merrill has of defeat, of I don't know what I have to do. What do I have to do at this point to get the results he's expected to get with the time that he's put in? There was a quote in the daily newsletter by Kevin Acee on Jackson Merrill. He was asked about like he got his first 3-hit game since May 12th. He ended a 4-game hitless streak. And they asked him about it. He goes, stuff's not really going the best. You could totally tell. I feel like I've been hot for like a month and just haven't gotten any luck. So just hoping for some stuff to fall, and we'll go from there. Incredibly unlucky this year. And here's what I'm talking about. Now, Kevin Acee alludes some of the stats. Merrill has a 51% hard hit rate. He has a 23% line drive rate, and he has struck out 19% of the time in 22 games since the All-Star break. He has obviously improved his numbers since the All-Star break. In the 47 games leading into the break, his hard hit rate was 49%, his line drive percentage was 20%, and his strikeout rate was 24%, so he's cut down on the strikeouts. His overall numbers reflect a slight improvement in the metrics. He is batting .253 with a .674 on base percentage, OPS, since the break, where he hit .206 and .602 in the 47 games leading into the break. Here's some of the other numbers for you. I know Kevin Acee talks about his batting average on hard hit balls over the past 22 games, which is .412. That is 72 points below the MLB average. Both of his hard hit rates last night resulted in base hits. So he's hitting the ball hard, and he's not getting rewarded for it. Now, in terms of his overall numbers since the All-Star break, Jackson Merrill has had 95 plate appearances since the All-Star break. He has 22 hits, 4 doubles, 3 triples, a home run. And here's the metrics that I'm telling you, he's going to turn things even better. It's going to get even better for Jackson Merrill. His batting average is .253. His expected batting average is .271. He's getting unlucky. His on-base percentage, .295. His expected, .321. He's getting unlucky. His slugging percentage is .379. His expected slug is .446. Tells you he's getting unlucky. His weighted on-base average is 291. His expected weighted on-base average is 339. I mean, all numbers showing that he is just not getting the results for the effort that he's put in, for the time he's put in, and for everything that he has been doing at the plate. I mean, he has done everything well. This is going to turn around. The last player that had this was Xander Bogarts, and he turned it around. Xander Bogarts before June 19th, before he started getting hot, his batting average was 227. His expected batting average was 263. His on-base percentage was 296. His expected was 334. His slugging was 314. His expected was 380. His weighted on-base average was 273. His expected weighted on-base average was 317. That was all before June 19th. Since June 19th, the guy's hitting 329 with a 388 on base and a 524 slug. The luck has shifted. He has gotten some better luck. He's starting to play a lot better. That's Xander Bogarts. As for Jackson Merrill, he is getting incredibly unlucky. And with that, it's only a matter of time before he starts flipping things around. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. It's time for today's Midday Sports Standoff.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, he's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
We have Charles from a location I don't remember. Ramona.
Ramona.
Charles, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good,
well.
good. So this topic today may sound scary, but really all you have to do is think of who are the best players in the NFL right now. Madden NFL released, EA Sports released Madden NFL 2026 earlier this week, and there are 7 players that are in the 99 overall club for this year's game. Who are those 7 players? So again, basically, just think of the 7 best players in the NFL. Charles, you have the first guess.
So the best overall, like the overall.
Yeah, who
rating
has the highest? Who is the 99 overall guys in Madden NFL this year?
Let's say Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is one of them, yes.
Patrick Mahomes. 98.
Shockingly, no. Patrick Mahomes is not in the 99 club this year. Charles.
How about Josh Allen?
Josh Allen is.
They got Josh Allen ranked above Mahomes?
They do. Braden,
That's crazy.
you're falling behind here. Not something I'm used to saying.
Well, this is just such a crapshoot of a question.
It's pick the 7 best players in the NFL. I mean,
picked
come on.
Patrick Mahomes, and apparently he's not one of the best players in the NFL, Frank.
Well, we knew that.
I'd pick Justin Jefferson would be another guy.
Justin Jefferson is one. So we've got 4 left.
It's Joe Flacco.
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. Charles
He's a
is
beast.
rolling right now.
He is. Saquon's a good guess. Who else? Jamar Chase was good. Justin Jefferson. I don't think CeeDee Lamb's a guy that's like that, but somebody might. Maybe CeeDee Lamb.
No, Braden has 2 strikes, and Charles, you can win the game right here.
I pay a lot of attention to the NFL, but not so much to the game. But I know a lot of players, so it's think. Hold on, Arthur. I'm on the phone, baby. Sorry, my son. God, I know this is the Eagles. gotta be someone. Lane Johnson, their right tackle.
4 for 4.
Wow.
Nailed it. Got the win, Charles. Hold on the line. We will get your information here. That was impressive. Wow.
Yeah, to get the only offensive tackle in the 99 club.
Unbelievable. Braden, you want to have a guess at the last two? I saw one of them in chat already.
And best D lineman is
no, it was not Al Bundy.
Best D lineman's Myles Garrett.
Yes, Myles Garrett,
In
and
the league.
one that I'm stunned you guys haven't gotten yet.
Lamar Jackson's the last guy.
Very good.
I can't believe Lamar Jackson's 99 and Mahomes isn't. That's crazy.
Again, that's unbelievable, Charles. Congratulations. That's why I said I know most of the people that listen are probably a little bit older, aren't in tune with video games. That's why I tried to give it just name the best players in the NFL. So that's great job.
Patrick Mahomes, not one of the best players in the NFL.
No, clearly not.
Clearly not.
Also, EA Sports, not one of the best companies in gaming. But anyway, that's a rant for another day.
I don't mind their NCAA. I don't mind the NCAA game. A lot of people complained about it. It doesn't bother me. I also don't play online because I think playing online is stupid.
I agree with that sentiment,
I would
especially
much
after
rather
last night.
Oh no!
Especially after losing my natty last night.
Did you play against somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How many people are in that league?
Just 4 of us.
Oh,
That's why we're doing 2 dynasties. We're doing our favorite teams. So I'm Penn State, one's Tennessee, another one's Georgia, and the guy who won is Notre Dame. And
and you lost to Notre Dame?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's even worse.
And we're starting our rebuild dynasty. So I'm taking Hawaii. The guy who took Notre Dame is taking Delaware. The guy who took Georgia is taking Georgia State, and the guy who has Tennessee is taking UAB. For the
Blazers with Trent Dilfer at the helm, huh? Is he in the game?
I believe he is.
Trent Dilfer, head coach of UAB. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Juan in Oceanside. We got a couple of minutes. What's going on, Juan?
Hey, what's up, Braden? I'm just calling in because I know this is kind of like I know you guys cover the Padres and stuff, but it seems like you guys also cover a lot of football stuff. I haven't had a team since the Chargers left, so I was kind of gonna ask you if you would be willing to do like a poll or something for the show to cover for fans of the show to follow along with.
To find it like a team?
Yeah.
And pick a team for the show.
Exactly.
That could be a fun bit. We just swap teams every week.
That'd be one team the whole season. You'd have to pick one. You play an eliminator and see if we can find a team to root for. I don't know. I kind of already, and Juan, I appreciate the phone call. Like I said, I'm kind of a fake Cowboys fan.
Don't.
I don't. I mean, it doesn't. It's like, yeah, it's fine. They're like the Chargers, dude. They have high expectations. They never win. They always go around 500, or they'll break your heart in the playoffs. And they got an owner that's psychotic, just for different reasons.
We're Bears fans this year, guys.
I'm not rooting for the Bears, dude. I'm not rooting for what's his name, Caleb Williams. Absolutely not. And I can't root for the Chargers at all. It's not even worth my time. Not even worth my time. Because I've said this so many times. Like, if they win this, the ultimate goal is winning what? The Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the team I'm rooting for a lot of people like the Chargers, wins the Super Bowl and it makes me not happy, why would I root for that team? It makes no sense. Makes zero sense. I'm going to root for the regular season and hope they lose in the playoffs so LA doesn't get a Super Bowl. Come on. With fantasy football, it makes it different. I just don't religiously follow a team anymore in the National Football League. I still watch the NFL. I still try to scramble together ways to get Red Zone to watch all the games for fantasy. I do like watching the game. It's more fun to watch the games. I'm not invested in a team. And like obviously, like living in Texas for a while, it was the Cowboys, and I paid closer attention to get to know the players a little bit more and stuff like that, so it becomes easier. But I haven't tuned into any Cowboys preseason games. I don't watch their practice film. I don't watch their. I don't do any of the stuff that I used to do with the Chargers back in the day. I do that for TCU football because I'm now more into college football than anything else. But at the same time, like NFL wise, I'll pay attention. There's a lot of people in town that pay attention to the National Football League. They just, they just don't watch the Chargers anymore. And there's some that still watch the Chargers, but I'm not going to cover them religiously. If you want that, go somewhere else. I just don't think there's anybody really covering the Chargers at all. Maybe some podcasts, I guess. I mean, nobody down here covers them. Like CBS sometimes does because they air their games when they get the Sunday game that they get. Sometimes they do, but
yeah, the Wave are still a thing. The San Diego Wave definitely are still a thing.
They are still a thing. Padres baseball takes over. But I don't have like a favorite team that I religiously watch anymore. Just watch all the games for fantasy and like other players too. Like we watch the Texans for Casey Toohill. We watching the Vikings. See if Brett Rippon gets in a game. If he makes the team. Oh, Jordan Love works out at the gym in town. Maybe the little Packers action. You never know. We'll continue with Padres baseball when we come back. Final hour of the Braden Surprenant Show on a Tuesday, leading up to Gwynn and Chris, coming up at 2 o'clock. As they get you ready for the Eagle Water SoCal Padres pregame show at 5:45. First pitch at 6:45. Padres Giants. We'll get you a little bit of a preview on that in just a little bit. Nestor Cortez, Robbie Ray today. Nick Pivetta and TBD still? As of yesterday, as of today?
From what I saw about a couple hours ago, yes,
All right.
still to be determined.
Maybe they've made their decision. Let's double check. Let's see if the Giants. Let's see if Bob Melvin.
I got
said
busted on one TBD, so now we gotta check me every time now.
No, but I do want to check anyway. This computer's so slow, dude. It's just so. What? I didn't even want to ask the question. What do the other hosts use this for? I mean, it takes forever.
JR?
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking Wednesday.
JR, help.
This is getting replaced soon, is what I was told. So that's what I mean. Still TBD, Frank. Still TBD. Yes. You're Napoleon Dynamite. Yes. You got Frank's in you got Tots in your pocket?
I wish. The fat guy in me definitely did.
Napoleon, give me some Tots. Starts kicking him out of his cargo pants pocket.
No, go get your own.
The throwing the steak at the guy on the bike is hilarious. Back in my day.
I heard that was one take, too.
He drilled him?
Yes, on the first shot.
I could throw that ball in the mountains. Back in the day, Uncle Rico only ate steak. Such a stupid movie. There's a couple of stupid movies that, like, every time you watch it, it gets funnier. Napoleon Dynamite is definitely one of those, and The Big Lebowski is one of those.
Yeah, because you noticed things you missed the last time.
The first time I watched The Big Lebowski, I go, what was the point of that? It made no sense. And then the second time I watched it, I'm like, this deserves an Oscar.
Comedy gold.
It's great.
All of the awards, please.
That's like your opinion, man. He's drinking White Russians all the time. I'm not Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. I will never look at Folgers coffee the same ever again. Folgers coffee was that. It's just will forever be Steve Buscemi's ashes.
Oh God,
that is what that will be. And they're spraying his ashes into the off the cliff. Just goes right back into Jeff Bridges' face. Donnie can't get it done. It's so stupid. It makes no sense. There's like no point to the movie.
Frankie Watkins. It's not young Frankenstein. It's young Frankenstein. By the way,
Frankenstein. The Big Lebowski. I'm not Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. I would not consider Fletch one of those movies. Fletch is hilarious. Draws the foul. You know who needs a foul? Rod needs a foul. He's pushed it a little bit too far tonight with the with the Fermin stuff.
Oh, yeah, I have seen that stuff. Yeah.
He draws the foul.
Foul. All funny. All funny, but too much. You pushed it a little too far today, Rod. Still have a day, though. Anyway. All right, what did we want? Oh, the Otani thing.
Yes.
You want to dive into this?
I think we should.
I
'cause
mean,
it's quite entertaining.
It's interesting to say the least, but at the same time, I read up on it and I go, okay, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It seems to be like what I got out of this thing.
Like someone said on Twitter, because as god awful as that app is, I still can't get rid of it.
Well, there's always a couple of hitters. There's a couple of shots like on the golf course that keep it coming back for more.
If I had a nickel for every time Shohei Otani has been in a financial scandal, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's funny it's happened twice now.
Okay. Here's what happened. A Hawaii real estate developer, Kevin J. Hayes Sr., and a broker, Tomoko Matsumoto, have filed a lawsuit against MLB star Shohei Otani and his agent, who's from San Diego, Nez Bolello. The suit alleges that Otani and Bolello used their celebrity status to pressure and ultimately get Hayes and Matsumoto removed from a $240 million luxury housing project on Hawaii's Hapuna Coast. I hope I said that right. A project they originally brought Otani in to endorse. So Matsumoto and Kevin Hayes Jr. started this luxury housing development, and they brought Otani in to try to sell it to rich Japanese investors, is basically what it says. The lawsuit claims, though, that Bolello increasingly demanded concessions from Hayes and Matsumoto that pushed their business partner, Kingsbarn Realty Group or Capital, to drop them from the deal. Hayes and Matsumoto accuse Otani and Bolello of tortuous interference. Tortuous interference. Anyway, improperly interfering in business contracts and unjust enrichment, getting unfairly at their expense. Yeah, I'm not a legality business person, whatever. The project, called the Vista at the Moana Key Resort, was marketed heavily using Otani's celebrity, highlighting his planned home purchase and training facility on site. The developers had worked on the project for 11 years and saw Otani's involvement as a key to attracting wealthy Japanese buyers. According to the lawsuit, Bolello became disruptive and made demands, leading Kingsbarn to prioritize keeping Otani happy over its contractual commitments to Hayes and Matsumoto. Last month, Hayes and Matsumoto were fired from the project in what they call a coordinated ambush, resulting in millions of dollars lost in expected profits and commissions. Okay. Tortious. Thank you, Adam. Hayes and Matsumoto, this is what happened. Hayes and Matsumoto, who developed and managed a high-end housing project in Hawaii, partnered with Kingsbarn Realty Capital. They brought in Shohei Otani, a globally famous baseball star, to endorse and promote the development, hoping his name would attract affluent buyers, especially from Japan. Here's the problem. Otani's agent started demanding more from the developer and broker, which upset the existing partnership. Eventually, Otani and his agent pressured Kingsbarn to remove Hayes and Matsumoto from the project. The lawsuit claims this was done purely for Otani and his agent's financial benefit, not due to any fault of Hayes or Matsumoto. Hayes and Matsumoto accuse Otani and his agent of interfering illegally with their business relationships and benefiting unjustly from the situation. Hayes and Matsumoto were fired from the project they had worked on for over a decade, and they stand to lose significant money tied to profits and fees. Otani is a superstar baseball player, recently signed a huge contract with the Dodgers, making a valuable marketing asset. His celebrity gave him leverage to influence the project, which the plaintiffs argue was misused to push them out unfairly. All right. I read all of that, and as much as people just want to destroy Otani because he's a Dodger and because of the gambling scandal with his translator and all that stuff, I honestly don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is here, aside from the fact that these two men played a stupid game and have now won said stupid prize. Am I missing something?
No.
I mean, is They're in business negotiations. They bring this guy in to basically get all their stuff sold for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the guy they bring in that they gave too much power to doesn't like them. They get rid of them, and now they don't have money. Like, they just missed out. They invited this is the entire. You invited the fox into the hen house. If you bring in a guy that makes all this money and the celebrity status, and you tell your investing partner, we have to have Otani, and then Otani tells that same person, I don't like these guys. You already brainwashed them into thinking Otani is the only reason why you're going to sell things, and so they get rid of you instead of getting rid of Otani. I don't get why everybody's upset at Otani. This is like, you know what? Didn't like him. This is the business model. I mean,
everyone's upset at Otani because of how everything went down with Ipe Mitsuhara. If that didn't happen, I'm sure this would just have skated right on by. It's just another thing. But with how he got effectively a pass from Major League Baseball and everything went on Ipe, that's why he's getting so criticized in this one. I agree. He didn't do anything wrong. He just wanted more money. That's all it was. But because of everything that went on with the betting scandal and how Major League Baseball very quickly swept it under the rug, everyone's going to make a big deal out of this and like, oh, look, he's doing it again.
I don't know. There's two sides to every story. And honestly, this claim that they have is not something that I sit there and go, like, I feel bad for these people. They were going to use Otani to sell this gigantic project that they invested in.
Yes.
And Otani came in, had all these rules. And then Kingsbarn, the guy, basically the representative in the middle, was like, all right, we got to keep this guy on. I don't really need these guys anymore. And they fired him for the project. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I don't know how many times I have to say that. And this is not something that's going to happen in the lawsuit. Like, even if Otani and Nesbolello get in trouble for this, is it going to just like knock Otani off the Dodgers?
No.
Nothing's going to happen. They might have to pay these guys off. Which is honestly all they're looking for. And you don't know both sides of the story. You just know their side. And their side's going to be 100% we're angels and we don't do anything wrong and we did everything the right way and these guys screwed us and all this other stuff. You have not seen the other side of the story. I mean, who knows what it was like? And usually these business deals have some shady play on both sides. So from the initial reaction to this entire story, I find it to be an incredibly non-story. Business people making deals and trying to screw over other people does not shock me at all. And this is the environment they're in, and this is the job that they play. I don't, this is a non-story to me from a sports standpoint. Everybody today was asking about it, though, in the chat. So we had to talk about it. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger in the sports world. All right. So Otani's contract, his real estate thing didn't hold up, at least right now. I mean, who knows? He's probably still involved with this project and is set to make a ton of money on this with whatever percentage he got in order to be used as an endorsement. But this is a nothing burger to me. Are you getting anything out of this, Frank?
No, especially sports related. It's not. This is something that happens every single day. It's just that now it's revolving around Shohei Otani. It's revolving around the biggest name in Major League Baseball. It's nothing. This kind of thing happens every single day. And now it's happening to an athlete now, which is why it's being brought up on ESPN, why it's being brought up by Sports Illustrated and CBS and all those other outlets. That's the only reason. It's Otani. That's it.
Again, I mean, and people are like, well, this is breaking contractual agreement. This is what their claim is. This is not like been proven by anybody. This is what they're saying, probably to save their ass after 11 years of putting in work on this project. Until you get the other side of the story, it's hard for me to like decide whether or not Otani is a bad person or not in this particular deal. And everybody in the YouTube chat is, not everybody, but a lot of people are like, well, this shows that Otani's a bad person. It doesn't really tell me that. Does it show you that? It doesn't really show me that.
No,
it just shows
because
it's like a bad business deal.
Yeah, no, because it's just claims at this point.
They're just claims. They were using him to try to get buyers, and then he didn't like, obviously, what they were doing and got them fired, and now they feel bad about it. And now they're like, where's all my money that I was expected to get?
And now this firm or this group, whoever, now has the burden of proof to try to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that Otani was nefarious in what he did. That's where it is now.
And we interrupt this coverage to tell you that Otani's up to bat in 5 hours and 24 minutes.
No way. Wow. Hold on. Stop the show.
You know what? Hey, not a bad. Choosing the Dodgers of the Padres shows he's a bad person. Hey, maybe, maybe.
Say the same thing about Sasaki.
Okay. Go down the list of everybody that Tanner Scott, I guess. Kirby Yates. Kevin Brown. Wanted to be closer to home. Went to LA to be closer to home. Lived in Cincinnati.
Well,
It happens. San Diego FC got back on track. We'll talk about it when we come back. Plus, what Xander Bogarts has done since June 19th and a preview of tonight's game, all coming up in the next couple of, last 2 segments of the show. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Braden Surprenant Show. still got to give away that bobblehead. So when we go to break for the next break, we'll have the fifth caller that calls in will be able or will win the Michael King bobblehead. We have a couple of those to give away this week. Not the tickets. Not the tickets. We're giving away the bobblehead, not practice.
Just the bobblehead today and tomorrow.
Not a game. Not a game. We're talking about practice. Not the tickets Sunday. We're talking about the bobblehead. Crown fit for a king of the hill. Michael King bobblehead presented by Cox features this Padres ace taking his throne on the mound, donning a gold cape and crown on Wednesday, August 20th. This giveaway is limited to the first 40,000 in attendance, and first pitch will be set for 6:40. Gates are open to the public 90 minutes prior. Arrive early. For more information, please visit Padres.com/giveaways. When we go to break, the fifth caller will win the bobblehead, the Michael King bobblehead. A couple of things that we want to mention. We're going to mention something about San Diego State in a second. I want to mention when I was a kid growing up, I knew two kids in Scripps Ranch that played hockey just growing up. One of them I played Little League with. His name's Thatcher Demko. He is the goaltender for the Vancouver Canucks. So one of the two made it to the NHL. The other one was Chad Rubital. From Scripps Ranch also made the NHL. Chad Woodwell just announced his retirement from the National Hockey League. And a big congratulations to him. He's 35 years old. He played in 369 NHL games. Quote from who I knew him as CJ as a child. But Chad, playing in the NHL has been a dream come true. I'm incredibly grateful to the Buffalo Sabres, Pittsburgh Penguins, and New York Rangers organizations for giving me the opportunity to live the dream. While there have been countless unforgettable moments on the ice, it's the relationships and friends built along the way that I cherish most. To my family, teammates, coaches, fans, and countless others who supported me, thank you for being a part of this amazing journey. Chad Woodwell, the Scripps Ranch resident, or should I say, grew up in Scripps Ranch, the San Diego native, calling it a career in the NHL for 369 games played in the National Hockey League. He had 13 career goals. He had 37 assists, 50 total points. Again, for a defenseman, has been pretty good. Won a Stanley Cup with the Penguins. I even brought it to San Diego and brought it to Scripps Ranch. But a big congratulations to Chad Woodwell and the career that he has had in the NHL. That's one breaking news kind of congratulations. The other, Frank, San Diego State going to honor a former team.
Yes, San Diego State will be honoring their 2015 Mountain West Championship winning team on September 20th against Cal. San Diego State football program will honor its 2015 Mountain West Championship team on Saturday, September 20th for its home game against Cal at Snapdragon Stadium. SDSU finished 11-3 for the season, tying the record for most wins in program history. The 2021 team broke the record with 12 victories. San Diego State became the first FBS team to open with a 1-3 record or worse and win every single remaining game, including the bowl game, in 29 years. The only other team to accomplish that feat since 1980 was Boston College when they did it in 86. So the Mountain West Championship team from 2015 to be honored at San Diego State during the game against Cal on September 20th, Saturday, September 20th.
That's pretty cool. It'll be cool to see that. And hopefully San Diego State at that point is ripped off some wins to start the season. San Diego FC beat Sporting Kansas City 2-0 over the weekend. They were on Saturday.
Yes.
What was your biggest takeaway from the game, aside from the fact that they bounced back from the Leagues Cup, which they did not do well in? They did beat Mazatlan to finish the Leagues Cup, knock Mazatlan out of potentially advancing. They get back to MLS regular season play, and they pick up where they left off.
Yeah, and that's the point. Now, there are some, of course, you want to win everything you can, but there are times where you get into a season and you've got to pick and choose your battles. You got to pick and choose what you're going to get. Are you going after the Leagues Cup? Are you going after the league tournament if you're playing in Europe, which I believe starts either this weekend or next weekend, the European season start? So like if you're in England, we're getting down towards the end of it. Are we really going for the Carabao Cup this year, or are we going for the Prem? Are we going for the FA Cup, or are we going for the Prem? You kind of have to make those decisions, and it just appears as though San Diego FC said, you know what? We want to win the League's Cup, but we're not going to make it a priority. We want to be ready to go for MLS play when it comes back. And that's exactly what they did. Chucky Lozano with a long goal to open up the scoring in the 23rd minute. Anders Dreyer, as he's done so often this year, comes right back through it with a goal in the 70th minute, a 2-0 win, 15th win of the year for San Diego FC. They do only have one club friendly left this season. They are only playing
Cholos.
Yes, they're only playing one non-MLS game the remaining 9 matches of their season, and that will be against Tijuana on September 16th, at Snapdragon Stadium. 8 MLS matches before the playoffs. So it is getting down to the end of it, and the next one is going to be against the San Jose Earthquake coming up on
the 17th.
So Saturday.
Correct. And that will be up in San Jose. So
Yes.
the San Diego FC's got San Jose and Portland and LAFC to finish up the month of August. LAFC will be on the road. And then in the month of September, they will play Minnesota at Snapdragon Stadium. They have the friendly against Tijuana. And then they will go to Atlanta on September 20th. Obviously, they can't play that game at home because San Diego State's honoring
Yes.
the 16 team. So they will play Atlanta on the 20th in Atlanta. They will play San Jose Earthquake again here at Snapdragon Stadium on September 27th. And then 2 games in October, both on the road. In Houston to take on the Dynamo, and in Portland to take on the Timbers before getting ready for postseason play. A look at the table, as Frank mentioned, San Diego FC now with a 4-point lead over Vancouver, a 5-point lead over Minnesota, and an 8-point lead over the Seattle Sounders in the top 4 teams in the Western Conference. San Diego FC, expansion team in first place. Great year. And the entire time at the beginning of the season, I was like, well, we'll see how they handle the summer.
Yeah.
They've done a great job handling the summer.
They've done an unbelievable job. And remember, Vancouver does have a match in hand. So it's theoretically a 1-point lead at the moment. We got to see how that match in hand with Vancouver plays out. But I don't think, of course you want to win the West. It'd be great to have home pitch advantage throughout the entirety of the playoffs. But if you can get through the top 4, if you can be one of the top 4 teams in your first year, that's an unbelievable start to the history of a franchise. And everything that San Diego FC has done so far has been just absolutely perfect. The perfect way to start the history of your franchise and to get a city on board with you, with a team that has, in a city that has a clearly more established team that is really, really good right now. San Diego FC has blown every expectation out of the water right now.
So how many, what's the playoffs like for MLS?
MLS, I believe, I'm going to be honest, I haven't paid attention to it as much as I should. Let me go into the table here.
I looked at the table. They got like the top 4 are highlighted, followed by a dotted line, then 5, 6, and 7, then 8 and 9, then a solid line. So 8 and 9 playing for a wild card spot potentially.
So 8, I believe 8 and 9 are playing for a play-in. So as of right now, if the season were to end today, it'd be Colorado versus San Jose would be playing for a play-in, and then it goes into the bracket. So then it's 1-8, 2-7, and then it goes down best of 3 series, and then off you go.
And then you're off and running. That's in the Western Conference. And then we'll see how San Diego FC does. Again, their next game or match will be on Saturday against San Jose Earthquake, 4:00 on Apple TV+. Xander Bogarts has been great as of late. There was a couple of things he said about why he's been playing a lot better. We'll talk about that and look at the numbers on him and get you ready for Padres and Giants. Nestor Cortez, Robbie Ray, when we come back to finish up the show. Braden Surprenant Show lead you into Gwen and Chris on a Tuesday. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. should have seen Frank jump out of his chair when I was like, who won the bobblehead? Oh,
yeah, that's a thing.
everybody was calling in for a bobblehead.
See,
And
again,
so
guys, you got to call in during the break, not after we announce it, because then I lock the lines. So if you call in during the break, I don't have to scramble and get it at the last second. Congratulations to Clay in the South Bay, who today wins a bobblehead.
today wins the bobblehead.
You have another chance tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you think that's you got a caller ID Michael King on the line? Do you think that's actual calling in to win his bobblehead? His
Let's
own
go.
bobblehead? That'd be
Hold
hilarious. Don't. That's not. There's no way that's him. That'd be hilarious. Yeah. Can I get my own bobblehead?
Should we-
please? No,
Should,
don't. That's not.
should we screen the call on air? Just to...
No, we should not. We should not do that. Absolutely not. There's no way that's him. That would be hilarious, though, but there's no way that's him. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Baseball coverage on 97 through the fans, presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on iPhone 16 Pro.
97.3, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
You put it on the air, or what are you doing over here? Oh, he's talking to him off air. That's hilarious. Anyway, we're going to give away another bobblehead later on. Tomorrow on the show. And you'll have a chance in the 1 o'clock hour to do that tomorrow. We wanted to talk a little bit about Xander Bogarts and what he has done since the June 19th resurrection of the season. And just for context, what he has done, what he was before June 19th compared to what he did after June 19th, and after a couple of swing decisions that he made led to his ability to do damage against a pitch that was killing him all year. And I noticed this earlier in the season. He was getting a lot more off-speed pitches than he had gotten in years past. And he hadn't been doing well with the off-speed pitches, so it made a lot of sense. But Xander Bogarts before June 19th this year, he had 287 plate appearances. He had 58 hits, a 227 batting average, a 296 on base, and a 314 slug. Here's the deal. All of those statistics, his expected numbers were a lot better. It was only a matter of time before things started to turn around for Xander. His expected batting average before June 19th was 263. His expected on base was 334. His expected slugging was 380. And his expected weighted on base average was 317. All better than what his numbers were, his actual numbers were prior to June 19th. He was not getting lucky. He also was not performing very well. And he was making tweaks to his swing. Around June 19th, he finally found the swing that he liked. And since June 19th, Xander Bogarts has been, I'm going to give you the stats that he has, but he has been the 6th best player in Major League Baseball, according to Fangraphs. Xander Bogarts, since June 19th, has been the 6th best player in baseball, according to Fangraphs WAR. He has a 2.3 WAR since June 19th. The leader is Nick Kurtz, who has a 2.9 WAR, followed by Corey Seager with a 2.4, Geraldo Perdomo with a 2.4, Kyle Stowers with a 2.4, Isaac Collins with a 2.3, tied with Xander Bogarts. So he's really tied for 5th as the 5th best player in Major League Baseball, according to Fangraphs WAR, since June 19th. This is the adjustment that he has made. After June 19th in total, Xander's got 56 hits, 12 doubles, which was almost as many doubles as he had before June 19th, 7 home runs, a 329 batting average, a 305 expected. So with some of his numbers, he's getting more lucky. He's actually lucky now than he was unlucky. But a 329 batting average, a 388 on base, a 524 slug, and a 393 weighted on base average. When looking at his off-speed pitches that he had faced, he had struggled against off-speed pitches because, again, it makes sense. He's looking for a swing that he wants. He's looking for mechanics that he likes. And after he figured that out, he was able to hit off-speed pitches a lot better. I mean, when you're pressing at the plate, you're trying to swing at everything possible. You're trying to do damage. You're getting fooled because you're out in front. And he was out in front of a lot of stuff. I mean, there were so many pitches that he was getting that he was out in front of, mostly off-speed, and he was struggling against off-speed pitches. Before June 19th, he was actually getting lucky on off-speed pitches. But his numbers before June 19th, Xander Bogarts, he had 40 plate appearances against off-speed pitches. He had 9 hits. That's a 243 average, but his expected batting average during that time was only 197. He had an on-base percentage of 300. It was expected to be 257. He had a slugging of 405. It was expected to be 355. His weighted on-base average was 308. And his expected weighted on-base average was as low as 269. Struggled against off-speed pitches. Now, since then, since the adjustment, which has now affected and his ability to wait on the off speed, which he hadn't been able to do for the majority of the year, since June 19th, he has 11 hits against off speed pitches. 4 of them are doubles and 2 of them are home runs. He's hitting 550 against the off speed pitch with a 591 on base percentage, a 1050 slugging percentage, and a weighted on base average of 678. So that off-speed pitch that had been killing him at the beginning of the year because he was trying to fix his swing, he was swinging at a lot of different pitches. He has now effectively turned into a pitch that he can handle. Obviously, it's a changeup. Off-speed pitches. In fact, his 2 home runs that he hit in Arizona were on off-speed pitches. He hammered them. He's done well against the fastball all year. The breaking ball he's improved on. And he's done a really good job at the plate. And as I mentioned before, he is tied for 5th. He's tied for the 5th best player in Major League Baseball since June 19th. When we were talking about Xander Bogarts and like his turnaround, I didn't think it was going to be this good of a turnaround. And you never said he needed to be better than what he was when you acquired him. If he could just play up to what he was in his first year in San Diego, you'd be fine. He's done way better than that. He's done way better than that. And he's been a big reason why this Padres team has continued to win here in the second half of the season. Now people in the chat trolling. Don't extend the contract. Keep it as it is. I mentioned it last time. I'll mention it again. I mean, with the Xander Bogarts thing, he's playing up to what his contract is worth right now. At least this season per year. And then people are like, well, what has he done in a Padres uniform? It doesn't matter, dude. Enjoy the run while you have the run. But this season, in 2025, including how bad his numbers were at the beginning part of the season, he is worth about $25 million, according to Fangraphs, based on what he has done production-wise, offensively and defensively. But the Padres have gotten a lot out of Xander Bogarts in these last couple of weeks and on their big stretch where they have eliminated 9 games in the standings and have now brought it into 1. 1 game behind the LA Dodgers for first place in the National League West. And we haven't had a lot of crap talk on Xander Bogarts. We haven't seen it in a long time. In fact, most of the people that would just call in every day or chat every day about how bad Xander is and everything like that have just completely disappeared. Completely disappeared. But he's done a great job. He continues to do a good job, and hopefully he can continue to do a job into the postseason. Nestor Cortez going tonight against Robbie Ray as we get a little bit of a preview of tonight's game. 6:45 first pitch. Equal Water SoCal Padres pregame show with Sam Levitt at 5:45. Nestor Cortez, Robbie Ray, as mentioned before. Nestor Cortez didn't do too bad in a Padres uniform in his first start as a Padre. He did all right. He did give up some runs early. He doesn't have a lot of starts this year, hence why he's got a 7.11 ERA. But Nestor Cortez, as mentioned before, is a player on this team that is going to get you to the postseason. You don't need him to start in the postseason, especially with the schedule that they released. The playoff schedule that they released is set up where you really only need 3 starting pitchers, maybe 4. But in his last outing for the Padres, went 4 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, gave up the 1 home run, and had 3 walks, did hit a batter. In fact, I think he hit 2 batters. He did. He hit 2 batters. And that game gave him an ERA plus of 118. I mean, that start was better than 18% of average players in Major League Baseball. 18 percentage points better than an average player in Major League Baseball. He just needs to be basically an average pitcher for the Padres. I'd like to see him go again tonight against the Giants. We'll see what he does. But expectations, I mean, if he could get that up to 5 or 6 innings, save the bullpen a little bit, I think it'd be great. I mean, you used Miller last night, you used Estrada last night, and you used Suarez last night. You could use 5 innings out of Nestor Cortez, especially going against Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's had a great season for the Giants. Robbie Ray has a 2.85 ERA on the year, 9-5 on the year. He's been great from the left side. Padres, again, have not done really well against left-handed pitching this year. They haven't done well against left-handed pitching in a while now. But with the Padres now a game out of first place, I mean, these games are huge going into a Dodgers series coming up on Friday. If you look at the game logs for Robbie Ray, as I'm trying to pull him up right now, for the last couple of the games that he has pitched in, Robbie Ray's coming off of a 6-inning performance against the Pirates where he gave up 2 earned runs on 6 hits. He pitched 7 innings against the Mets after going 5 2/3 innings against the Mets. And as great as his ERA has been this year in 2025 in his 24 starts with a 2.85 ERA, since the start of June, Robbie Ray has had a 3.27 ERA over 71 2/3 innings pitched. He has gotten knocked around a little bit more than he did at the beginning of the season. Beginning of the season was lights out, but Robbie Ray, if he gets into a rhythm, will be tough to deal with. He has already pitched a complete game this year. He has one of those on the docket. He pitched a complete game against the Arizona Diamondbacks in Arizona. Last couple of outings, 6 innings, 7 innings, 5 2/3, 4 1/3, 6 innings, 5 2/3, all after the complete game he threw against Arizona. Try to get to the bullpen early. Try to let Bob Melvin deal with the bullpen, which every Padres fan knows, or at least thinks they know. He doesn't do a good job with that. Anyway, what do you got in tonight's game, Frank?
It's going to be a fun one. And by the way, thank you very much to Paul Trailer for the super chat there again.
Paul Taylor.
That's what I meant. Yeah, it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be interesting to see what Nestor Cortez can do again. Again, it's only his 4th start of the season. So Cortez is still trying to ramp up and get doing what he needs to do, and then to just close out the series with Nick Pivetta. It's a good time to get in and out of San Francisco with as little damage as you possibly can.
Do we think tonight's game is going to be a 1-run game?
I think so. And honestly, I would not be surprised if tonight, if you're talking about not predicting sweeps, if the Padres were going to lose one game in this series, it's going to be tonight. Because I don't think Pivetta is going to get back-to-back losses.
I don't think so either. And every time I try to guess like the matchup or like there's no way they win that game, they end up winning that game. This actually happened when I was in Italy. They were playing the 4-game series in San Francisco.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was Kolek was starting or something like that. Yep. It was either Kolek or Vasquez were starting. And I said to myself before I went to bed, because the game was about to start, I was like, this is the game they lose. There's no way they win this game. And the thing is in San Francisco, the last series in San Francisco, the 4 games they played, they won the 2 games they shouldn't have, and they lost the 2 games they shouldn't have in terms of overall They looked good in the 2 games that they lost. And they looked awful in the 2 games that they won.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's baseball.
I mean, these things happen. And again, you can't, and the reason why we're saying expect a loss tonight is because you cannot expect a team in the major leagues to sweep. The sweeps happen, sure, but they happen by accident. You cannot go in expecting a sweep because there are way too many things that can happen. Way too many different things that can happen.
Have you seen this John Mateer stuff?
I've seen it. I haven't looked into it though.
We could talk about it a little bit more later. So John Mateer, somebody posted a picture of his Venmo.
It's the new quarterback
history.
For Oklahoma, right?
Washington State's quarterback that transferred to Oklahoma. And he had one on there that was he paid this guy and on November 20th, 2022.
I did see
sports
that.
Gambling, UCLA versus USC.
Yes, I did see that.
So he has denied it. He put out a statement today. Allegations that I once participated in sports gambling are false. Previous Venmo descriptions are not accurately portray the transactions. He talks about how they're inside jokes with his friends. But he sent the money. He sent the money to this guy the day after USC beat UCLA 48-45.
Oops.
November 19th, 2022, USC beats UCLA 48-45. SC was ranked 10th in the country, UCLA 18th. John Mateer the next day sentenced a undisclosed amount sports gambling, UCLA versus USC. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I don't, there's a couple of them on there. I don't know where this is potentially going to lead to. I don't know if there's an investigation that's out. We don't know all the information, but somebody posted the Venmo stuff. And to say sports gambling, UCLA versus USC, and then say that's an oddly specific inside joke. It's hard to believe.
I can see it.
I can see it too.
I could see it being an inside joke because that is way too blatant to be real. There are some things that are way too obvious to be real.
This is why you leave your Venmo stuff on private.
100%.
That's what he should have done. That's the biggest mess up in general.
Yep.
There might be more on that information. We might talk about it tomorrow later on. Short show tomorrow. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Quinn and Chris up next. Santa Cruz Sports Station 97 to the Fan.